Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because like the meme that we were making before with you, Kuro, and Ron was a JoJo reference actually. So somehow
Uh,
you just somehow just end up being like my JoJo inspiration. I don't pure coincidence.
Is that one of the things? Yeah.
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 And our other guest today is Moon. Moon.
Hey.
Moonzu.
Hey.
Always see you in like every single chat ever. What's up? Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. Hello.
You
My
made me
name
about
is.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. My name is Moon VR. I do a lot of VR chat world exploration. Outside of streaming, though, I do a lot of short films on YouTube and TikTok, VR chat related. I just like to look at pretty things, and yeah, that's that's pretty much a lot about me. A lot of my streams are I focus
Mm.
around like creating a nice atmosphere, and I try my best to hit that on the mark every
Yeah,
time.
I notice like your positivity is
Hmm.
like one of like the main things. I feel like every time I like turn to your stream, there's like something really pretty is happening or something really like I don't know upbeat or like exciting. And then
Yeah.
meanwhile, like look at like I don't know my stream, it's like
No.
I'm like
I
super like talking about some sort of like awful incident that's happened over the past
oh
like day to
god.
me. I'm like yeah,
Oh, by the way, Kuro, everyone's saying that our audio is low.
yeah. I just fixed it. I just fixed it. It should be good now.
Mm.
Alright, cool.
So you do a lot of world like exploration, Moon?
Yeah,
Cool.
I spend most of my time in VR actually like looking for cool worlds. I kind of have my specific ones that I like. I used to play a lot of Skyrim and I used to mod it. So a lot of the times the worlds that I end up really liking are similar to like that atmosphere. Lots of
Or just
nature, lots
fantasy.
of like pretty, yeah, lots of bloom and lots of like really tall grass. But yeah, I find I spend my time finding worlds and then I try to create a imagery from that and what I want the stream. I even go down to like ambiance and music and I
Hmm.
just try to like focus it. And I still talk like I talk a lot during my streams, but I still
Hmm.
like to make sure that it looks pretty while I do that. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man.
We gotta sync
Yeah.
up a world playlist someday because I do the same
Yeah.
thing. I go like the news
I
section every single day and I just drop in the
yeah.
playlist.
Yeah, I'm actually making a VR chat world encyclopedia and I want to share it with a bunch of streamers cuz I feel like not like there's so much worlds that are like no one goes to and they're like hidden gems.
Oh my god,
And
that's
so
gotta take so much time. So like
yeah,
each word you go to, are you like putting
I
it
take a
into this
picture.
encyclopedia? How big is
Yeah.
the encyclopedia right now?
So I have so I'm like rewriting it on my Google, but on my phone notes I have at least 500 worlds already.
Five
Um
hundred? Oh my
Holy.
god,
Uh.
that sounds like something like
and
Crow would like, be like really into, like a huge encyclopedia, a bunch of worlds, and she like go to like
Oh
a bunch of
yeah.
crazy ones too.
yeah.
I'm only
But
trying to find
I'm
worlds to like
transferring it
dance
to
in.
my
Yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah,
dancing too. People who
that's
dance.
what a
Yes.
lot of
Exactly.
I don't
This
dance
world will
in
be wonderful to dance in.
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Every
Totally. I
time I
want.
watch a stream, I'm like, dang, like this song would look cool in this world, and so I'm like, yeah. So I'm trying to make it cohesive, categorized with
Oh
like
yeah, with like
the things
actual
so it makes
categories of
more
the worlds.
sense.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, because all my
Mhm.
notes look like if someone I just gave that to someone, it would look crazy. So I'm
Hmm.
trying to make it look more cohesive to make more sense. But yeah,
You should get into dancing. It's gonna change your whole mentality and like how you look at worlds.
Moon, you
I have.
I've seen you jump around a lot on stream before for dancing though,
I do
right?
wiggles, but I don't actually dance. Like I don't know how to. I feel awkward
We
and
all start that way, don't
quirky.
worry.
So
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
yeah, I
definitely a super normally thing to get like when you start dancing.
yeah, I would be open to it. I just don't
Hmm.
really know where to start, I suppose, and
Do you
what
feel
my
like
dance
worlds
style
in
would
general,
be.
like when I was like because I feel like I was just talking, I don't know who I was talking to this about, like how I was talking to Nami about it actually, about how like VRChat worlds, like kind of back in the day, they weren't so like, here's my Discord, here's a bunch of commission information, if you want to have this world commissioned for you, here's all my stuff. And I feel like every time
Hmm.
I see those kind of things or like see a bunch of these UI panels that have like literally like tons and tons and tons of like toggles to the worlds and tons of like
Yeah.
shaders and stuff. Like I feel like it kind of ruins the immersion for me of like going to a
Yeah.
world. Like I think I remember like way back in the day, like Gaia Night. I feel like everyone knows like Gaia Night.
Mhm.
When people used to go to Gaia Night all the time, I think when they didn't update on it and they started making it like bigger and bigger and bigger, they started adding in like a bunch of these like different areas to go to, and they had like like this super secret puzzle and like a bunch of Easter eggs and stuff like that. Everyone stopped going there. Like I think
Yeah.
if anyone played it back in like 2017, like you used to like go to that map all the time. It was like the most popular map ever. And then once all these updates started happening, it just like really like changed the whole entire like feeling of going to that world. And for me, less is more. Like when it comes to worlds
Yeah.
in general, less is a lot more for me.
I like to join a world and feel like I'm there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
I
completely
agree.
there. And like
Mhm.
a lot of worlds, not that there's anything wrong with it, but sometimes I'll join a world and it's like I'm just bombarded with buttons I
Yeah.
need to push. I need to push accept, and then I need to read all their TOS, and then I need to read their Discord, and oh, they have commissions. I'm like, get
Mhm.
all that away. Like maybe in the corner, sure, but no,
Yeah.
like I definitely agree. Less is more.
Mm.
And I think that it makes an overall more enjoyable experience when you join a world and you feel fully immersed.
Mm.
Mhm.
And like I also noticed this.
Fine, I guess you are
I
my little
love not
punchman.
only just like
Come
pretty
here.
worlds, I like game worlds and scary worlds. But my problem is that they don't make it like user friendly. Like they expect you to like know how to solve a puzzle that's like way too complex, or like
Yeah.
all the jump scares are like totally flat and like not like, yeah, loud noises, sure, that's scary, but not really, you know.
Right.
And I do feel like I would definitely love to find more worlds that create that atmosphere,
Like immersion atmosphere. I mean, its whole purpose is like actually having an
Yeah.
immersive environment in
Yeah.
VR.
That's what VR is.
Mhm.
That's what it should be, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm. If I mean,
The
there's
buttons and
actually a
toggles.
study. Yeah, there's actually a study that like
Yeah.
there's an ice cream store with 3 flavors, and there's an ice cream store with like all the flavors, rocky road, pistachio, all that.
Mhm.
People actually enjoy going to the ice cream shop with less flavors because it's like less overwhelming for them.
Yeah, I think that's the
So
same.
it's
That's
still
how it should be with
the
worlds, right? Like,
paradox
and
of choice, right? Just like too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
just too overwhelming.
yeah, have you been to like the Halo like there's a lot of maps that have been imported from other games and
Yeah.
stuff, and sometimes those are like the best.
Yeah.
Like
I
Silent
have a
Hill
lot
or
of those.
Halo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nier Automata.
yeah,
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
on.
those too.
I
There's
was
so
talking
many
about
Nier
how
worlds.
actually having I was watching old Whoops videos, and I remember like everyone used to go to presentation rooms. How like when there's less open space on the map, there's more social interaction, right? It's like if you go to what's the one, the Winter Contingency, I think it's called, or something like that, has like a bajillion rooms, and like you're going like when you see your friend in there.
Here's Solitude.
I can't remember the name of it.
Solitude?
It's got
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's a newish
It's
one.
company.
It's got
It's
so many
company.
freaking rooms. Like it's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. It's an amazing looking map,
Yeah.
but it really like hinders the actual like interactions that you're able to have.
Mm-hmm.
Where like in that closed space, it's kind of like if you're at like a party, right? And when there's less rooms at a party, people are like closer together and talking, hanging out more. Or when you're dancing, like if you have smaller space, it
Yeah.
tends to be a lot more like personal, a little more like
Mm-hmm.
interaction based. And I don't know, that's the problem I have with a lot of VRChat maps lately. Is just like the stress that people have on like making it super pretty, but not the fundamentals of like what made maps like good, back in the day, and why people flock to them. I don't know. I think like as far as like I don't know, when you explore maps, like do you feel like it's kind of similar? I guess.
Yeah, I definitely am just more gravitated towards that simple, like there's a point that they're trying to get to and they make it. There are a few maps that are like I'll write them down because like they're super realistic or super,
Right.
atmospheric, but then at the same time I don't think I'll ever really go back to it because it's just so like so many rooms and there's not like objectives or there's not much in the room other than oh yeah, this is like a living room and then this is a kitchen, like okay, cool, but like what are you trying to express with this map, I suppose. Another thing is like I used to go to like VR clubs a lot. I don't anymore, but a lot of the times, like what you were saying, when some of the clubs would have the actual party so hidden that by the time I found it, I was like not interested
It's like
in
private
even being
rooms.
there.
It's like literally like private
Yes,
rooms
it's
that they have. Where it's like,
like
hey, come to our party, but you can only enter the private room if you are in our Discord and all this stuff. But everyone
yeah,
else is going. You have to join my Discord. It's like,
yeah,
here's the problem I've had with not just worlds but with avatars too. Is like monetization in VR chat's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But the problem with so much monetization is that so much has been put behind like almost like a paywall. Where back in the day, and again this is just like this is early VR chat days where like avatars were like super public and like a lot of things weren't withheld from people because of hey, I have rights over this and you don't kind of thing. Like Gumroad's been like a thing now. It's like a lot of the passion, I guess, that I really enjoyed about like exploring VR chat and exploring avatars and stuff like that has just completely been lost in translation once money has like kind of been brought into the
yeah.
picture.
It is unfortunate because I do think it's like having the privilege of being able to have a career or have some sort of monetization from something that I love so much. Like I live off of like VR chat content. Like that's what keeps me
Right,
fed.
right.
So I do have some level of like I understand where the monetization has to come from, but it definitely sucks that it's just so much of it.
It's
And
so like shoved down your throat kind of thing. I don't know.
uh-huh.
It's like you
Uh-huh.
don't have
I
like
I actually went to a world one time, which no disrespect to like the creator. I understand they got to do what they got to do, but
yeah.
they said right when you join the world, you are not allowed to film in this world unless you credit me and
Yeah,
credit all my
oh
stuff.
man. It's like I
And I
understand at the same time it's like
it's
oh,
like
it's just like
I
man.
anytime that someone asks, I will absolutely tell the world. I'll even link it.
Yeah.
Anything that I do, I credit it on my streams. I link it, but like like to man that, it's just almost like why would any like what if I miss that by accident and then I get canceled
Mhm.
because I didn't realize that I'm not allowed to film in this world without your permission. And
Yeah.
I've seen that with like avatars now too,
Avatar's same way.
which
Mm.
I understand, but
Yeah.
I understand at a base level, but at the same time it's like how are you going to keep track of what if like 30 people use your avatar? What if
Mm.
one of them says something that you don't agree on? Like you can't have that much control if you're going to monetize. You just have to accept like
Mhm.
that you put it out there, I suppose. That's why my avatar is custom and I made sure I read all the copyrights for every single piece of my avatar cuz I did not want to get into any of
Kind of
that
like
cuz
altercation with like
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
no, I
that
agree.
whole world is I've
Didn't you
seen
have a
like
situation? Didn't you have a
yeah.
problem with your avatar back in the day?
Yeah, once upon a time. So TDA is like always a gray area.
Mhm.
So like
Yep.
there's an avatar that I like using. It was the one from Derailed. So I already know the rules about like his stuff on like that particular avatar. So I hired a guy to like, hey, so can you? I know this avatar is TDA, so can you like do what they did and just like
Right.
recreate the head and everything? And then they're like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And I'm like, cool. So I got the package. I put like a copy of the avatar together so that way I can like call mine and do whatever I want with it. And the original avatar creator of the one I had in Derail like called me out on it, and we would feel like going back and forth on like, you know, it's his head that you altered, it's my head that like I got replicated, and it's like the gray area of TDA like rears its ugly head.
Mm.
So I just said budget. I hired a completely different avatar creator to like just make. I said like yo recreate because like I'm already in love with the image. Like it's just basically
Yeah,
like
it's you
me.
every time I see this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, white hair wolf boy, make it like your own. Don't make it completely the same because I already went through that.
Right.
And this is where I am today. Still
Mhm.
TDA, but not for long. I'm gonna get a new like from scratch avatar eventually.
Mhm.
So I won't like come across any more future TDA. I'm future proofing myself.
Right.
Mm.
But
I
that was just a
actually
huge pain in the butt.
oh yeah. I actually had something kind of similar. I never really talk about like drama because like I don't want people to like look at me like I get
Like
off on
involving
it or
yourself in
whatever.
it. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
get that.
But behind the
Mm.
scenes, my old avatar, I don't know if any of you remember, it was like the dress and like all I had was this dress and a jacket and like I
Right.
had the long hair and these heels. And that I got permission from the avatar creator to edit that. And so that's what I did.
Mhm.
I edited it. And then later on down the line, when not like I'm like, some big honcho, but once my Twitter started getting more recognition, there was a group of people who were trying to cancel me because the lips on my avatar looked like TDA. The lips
Mm,
on my avatar. And I was like,
Uh,
I like tried to prove it. I was like, this creator said that they made this, and these people were like, had like receipts like 20 pages long and saying like literally drew lines and like trying to connect that my lips were TDA on my avatar. And I was just like,
oh my God.
I do not understand like why this is like if it was TDA, then like I didn't know when I got it. I tried to avoid that,
Mm,
but it's like it's really hard when you're making a human-looking avatar. There are going to be things that look similar,
yeah,
and
for
I don't
sure.
know what else to say. And so I was getting sick of it because I was having to block people almost daily that were
Because of
like
all like the people that were like kind of
were
harassing you as far
sending
as
me
the
like
avatars. Yeah.
threats because of the lips on my avatar. And so
Hmm.
I just said F it, and I commissioned one of my close friends to make me this one. And I told her I like went in world with her, and I was like, nothing has to look like TDA. Like if
Right.
you
Just
have
to, like get
anything
yourself
on
like
this
completely
model,
out of like the whole like
yeah, like
potential of
make it
yeah.
look as far away from TDA as possible. If there's any assets, we need to make sure that it does not look like anything that can be possibly thrown in
Hmm.
my face later. Um, and we had some ideas, and I would keep on being like, no, not that, that looks too much like TDA, and or the other ones that you're not allowed to use. And it was just a whole like nightmare, and it was so crazy like that small thing like people were trying to like run me over about that. I honestly didn't know that was I didn't realize. I would have not bought the avatar if I knew, but it already happened, so it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
think I think like it's not even like I don't understand because I do understand like copyright. I
Hmm.
understand like when
Yeah.
someone creates something, like like Sweet's avatar. It's like it's a lot of times assets are kind of compiled together
Yeah, it's called
and
cute
creating
bashing.
this
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Here's something I was actually like thinking about the other day. Like OnlyFans and like all these like ways that people are advertising um like kind of like sex working with their avatars.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, man, what stops somebody from assembling an avatar that looks incredibly similar to another content creator, but isn't actually stealing anything from their avatar, but is using assets that are similar? And then advertising as a clone of that person, kind of thing, where they're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a different version." I was like,
But then
it's like
doing like NSFW content with that, are you
yeah,
trying to say?
right, yeah, but like doing NSF content with that person, it's like nothing is
Hmm.
stopping that person from doing it.
Yeah.
And Sweet and I have had conversations about how it's such like a new thing to society is
Hmm.
being a virtual representation of something or someone where you can literally put things together because in the real life you obviously can't do that with like your body,
Hmm.
right? So it's such a foreign new thing, and obviously it'd be incredibly shunned and like frowned upon, but it's not the first time someone's done something that people haven't liked,
Yeah.
right? It would still go somewhere and people will see it and still it will still get like some sort of attention. um
Hmm.
and that's where I'm like questioning is like, monetizing all these assets and all these parts of our avatars, um when you put them together into a certain formula, somehow that becomes copyrighted, right?
Yeah.
Where it's assembled in a particular way of non-copyrighted assets. When they're put into this particular fashion, that now is not allowed to be used by anybody else but me, right? That's how I feel like a lot of these avatar creators have in their mindset. And again, I'm just generalizing
Oh,
right now. I'm not
yeah.
really saying anyone in particular, but it's like once they're put into a specific fashion, somehow that person can now say, "Hey, you're not allowed to use any of this stuff because I put it together in this way."
And that's actually not like what like if you actually brought that to court, that would not withhold unless you have everything from your avatar custom. You
Right.
are not allowed to like so I've seen a lot. So I for a very, very short time I used to model showcase avatars for people that were selling them. I would do like scenery and everything, and it wasn't my thing. And the biggest reason is because of like all the drama in that community, like the avatar community. There's so
mm,
much like secret like stealing of people's work, and then
Mhm.
other people claiming other people, and it just all was so nasty to me, and like I just didn't want any part of it. But for the short time that I was there, I always saw people saying like, "Well, I'm gonna DMC strike you for
I see these
stealing my
blacklists,
avatar."
right? Like so I was telling you the other day, we see these
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
there's blacklists and people like
But the
never
thing
talk to
is,
this person because they use the same
yeah.
hat color as me. And I'm like, what
Yeah.
the
Well,
what happened?
Pretty
The problem
cutthroat,
is
yeah.
like if that was ever actually brought to court, unless they went into Blender and molded it themselves from
Yeah,
A
that's
to
different.
Z.
There are people who do that,
mm,
right? There are
Yeah,
definitely
and
people who
that
do
would
that,
be the
and
only
that's
way that they could actually say that it's theirs. But
right.
if you have a kit bash model, or even like the smallest thing, like someone made a texture that you added to your model, like you can't claim it as yours
Hmm.
completely. Like you can't say that other people can't use it. It'd be like if this
Yeah.
jacket is for sale on Gumroad, and if someone else wore it and started streaming with it, I can't pitch a fit because it's not
Hmm.
mine. Like,
Right.
it's
Right.
it's a asset for everybody to use.
Yeah,
So,
and,
yeah.
and it's all just like it's sad because at the end of the day, it's all just like this. Back to the point I made about the maps, it's about this whole monetization and how
Mhm.
people just want to control and be like that next, big avatar maker who has like all these massive sales on Gumroad because these avatars are like $60 each. And you go and like
Yeah.
you said on Gumroad, they have like like 80 or 90 reviews, and maybe one in every 9 people are leaving reviews. So it's like there's so
Mhm.
much money to be had in these areas,
Oh, yeah.
and there's definitely so much not okay stuff going on. I want to say illegal because it might
Yeah.
not be the wrong term to be using, but
Yeah.
there's definitely stuff that isn't allowed to be happening that's going on
Mhm.
in avatar
Yeah.
sales. And
There's
it didn't used to be like this. It did not used to be like this. It used to be super like, hey, you want this asset? Just go to my Discord and it's right there. Here, come use it. It's like it used to be
Mhm.
super lax, like in 2017, 2018 times. Like it was avatar sharing was like such an exciting thing, and now that money is a thing, everyone just like at each other's necks and creating these
Mhm.
blacklists and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I definitely
mm,
wouldn't want someone to have my avatar.
No,
You
yeah,
know.
of course not.
But I have taken, I won't get into detail, but I've taken like private precautions to make sure that if someone were to, because I know it's not like this game, it's so easy to like get someone else's stuff. Like
Sure.
it's just
yeah.
boom, click. But I've taken like my own precautions, and a lot of people who have custom models probably do the same.
Mm,
But at the end of the day, like all you can do is just know who you are and know what you represent. And if someone else is wearing the same thing
Mhm.
and has spews beliefs or does things that you don't believe in, just know that if people really want to know, they'll figure out that it's not you. Um, I used to be scared to go to public worlds. I
Yeah.
used to be scared to like
Sweet's
join
yeah,
for
people.
afraid going public
I
worlds,
still
right?
am because
Because Sweet
I
makes
Yeah.
spend like
avatars. I mean, you make avatars, so it's like a.
Yeah.
yeah, I made
Yeah.
this like 3 hours spent like doing toggles and
Mhm.
Mhm.
shading and blender work and armature work,
Armature work.
and then
Yeah.
like you go and like you dance one night at a club or something, and then you'll
Yeah.
see it either like
Mhm.
Yeah.
some and Kuro is like, don't worry, it's like trolling, but
Yeah.
someone might use it to make NSFW stuff, or
That's
they'll just
yeah.
use it like
I've
for
actually
me it's kind of weird. It's
have
like
I've seen
just
someone
to see
sent me a
someone dancing
picture.
or something. Hmm.
Yeah, someone sent me a picture. When I used to be like only on TikTok. Someone sent me a picture of someone wearing my avatar, pretending to be mute in a
Yeah.
black cat, talking to people. And
It's
they
so much
had
different when
their
you're a
profile
content creator,
the
right?
same as mine. Yeah, they
Hmm.
had their
It's like a
profile picture the same
really
as
weird
mine,
area.
and it was really
Oh
creepy
no,
because like I
creepy.
don't know what they were doing. Like I
Mhm.
don't know what they were up to, but someone took a picture and they were like, "Yeah, this person's been like uwu shy, like in this lobby, pretending to be you, around these like
Wow.
people that I guess knew my content." And I was like, I literally couldn't do anything. I was just like, "Okay, I hope it's not like they're not,
Yeah, well,
luring people
I
in to
mean
be
that's
creepy."
it's a good thing you said that like
Like
there's nothing you can do because here's the thing, and I always like I mean Sweet and I kind of I don't want to say we get into arguments, we never get into arguments, but we've talked about how I say like there's literally nothing you can do when it comes to somebody either ripping your avatar using like a client or something, or somehow getting assets and putting them into like that. Like I said, if you have let's take all assets in an avatar world. Like, imagine like a Sims game, right? Where there's a set amount of assets for each particular outfit on the person. Like Crow, for instance, like his hair or his jacket, whatever. If you take all of these assets and someone's like, I love the way Croa's avatar looks. I want to make myself look like Croa. And they go, okay, I want white hair, I want wolf ears, I want this jacket, I want a trench coat, I want long legs and stuff like that. There's nothing you can do to stop that. And it's not in any way in your position as like, the person who uses the avatar. You can't be like, hey, that's all mine. So let's say one day someone wakes up and wants to be me and it literally just, buys the same avatar I bought.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and as a content creator, it's kind of interesting because a lot of people who are content creators use those avatars to identify themselves. And if you aren't a content creator, I mean, a lot of people in VRChat see that person, like Sweet's face is on every single avatar he uses, so it doesn't like, if I ever saw someone who looked exactly like Sweet, I'd be like, huh.
Yeah.
I'm starting to put like stuff on, like if
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
the Lauren hat, I'm like, yeah, freaking go advertise Lauren. That's cool.
Yeah.
But so that kind
Yeah.
of helps,
See, and then there's like, instead of like being mad that they are ripping your avatar, you can just like kind of turn it to your own advantage.
Yeah.
Just use it as like kind of self-advertisement.
Yeah,
I have
I've
my own avatar like as a public avatar, so anybody can like, take it. But my
Yeah.
avatar's already.
that's what I did when I
already-
used to make avatars. I made public versions of my avatars, which are hardly any. The only thing different is had different hair.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, mine
and
has different eyes. Yeah.
I feel like instead of all this like, and again, I'm not a content creator, I'm not an avatar maker anymore. I don't make worlds or whatever. But when I did it, I felt like it was exciting to share what I made with people, and it was always really exciting seeing other people use it. And like I said before, back to the same point. Once the money came introduced into it, once people started making,
And there's money involved.
then
for
the money
sure.
gets involved, and people are now like, wow, that I did something to the avatar. I own that money. How I'm entitled to that much amount of the money because that avatar is something I made, or I made that asset way in the background, off in the distance. That's mine. And that's the unfortunate thing about the DMCA world is that and that if there's an asset being involved in some sort of influx of money, there is some sort of entitlement. The person who created it has some sort of entitlement to that money.
Which, to play devil's advocate, if you did create something, you do have some sort of, but at the same time, if you're putting it out in public, you have to accept that there will be people that maybe
Especially
don't
in a
use
game
it
like
for what
this.
you-
I think
Yeah.
what it boils down to, as far as like, and there's some things you can control and like can't. When it comes to direct ripping of avatars, I think that in some sort of sense, VRChat needs to be a little more aware of avatar stealing. And I'm not saying that they can come up with some sort of solution for it because Unity ripping is a thing that's just going to happen because the way the engine works.
Now is report people for potential ripping,
Exactly.
and they'll
Exactly.
look and see if there's mod clients on this person's account.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's not really that much you can do. Like, I don't say this often. Like, I used to talk about it on my stream because I looked into it and learned a lot. But it almost scared people into like having their own avatars. I always tell people, if you want your own custom thing, go for it. That's you. Like, you want to identify as something specific, then go for it. But like, just know, like, if someone wanted to, with what technology is now, all they have to do is know your VRChat name. That's it.
Right.
That's it. They don't even have to be in the same world. They don't even have to. You don't have to be wearing the avatar. That's it. They just have to know your VRChat name or know your
And then they have access to it.
your like code thing that's like your ID or whatever for the game, and that's it. And when I found that out, like it freaked me out, and I never wanted to go in public worlds, and I was always hiding and like being like scared, and but now, like, I mean, I still don't wear my avatar in public worlds, but I'll go into public worlds if I want to, and at the end of the day, like, there's just enjoy yourself. Like, if you rip yourself apart about it, always, like, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to fully experience and enjoy the game. Those crazy hectic lobbies are sometimes fun to just check in on and see how hectic they are again.
Yeah, and then you're kind of gated because you feel like you can't go there in your like own identity kind of thing. Yeah, no, I understand that. Bottom line, I think that's something when it comes to like avatar creations, everyone just like, and this sounds kind of dumb, but if everyone just cared a little less, I feel like it would overall be like a much better
That's what made
environment
me
and
feel
like
better. I
way
just
more
stopped
enjoyable.
caring as much.
If everyone
I
just
stopped
cared a little
caring
less,
as much,
like
and
And it's
Now,
not to take any away anything that people make, like avatar makers make, because I definitely understand that if you had something and someone took it from you, like it
yeah.
probably sucks a lot. I understand
And
that.
no one should justify like ripping anything
Oh yeah, no,
or
ripping
stealing
ripping.
anything or sharing
If you have
assets. Like
avatars, freaking rotten hell.
that's still yeah, that's still fucked up. But sorry, am I
Yeah.
allowed to curse?
Yeah, go fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, oh,
Oop, cancel.
Gee.
out of here.
Sweet asked me that the other day. I was like, maybe I don't care.
Yeah, I'm dead.
But at the end of the day, like as long as you know who you are and you're doing the right thing,
Yeah.
then all you can do. And
Crow, you so moving on. Crow, you went on a really long break before.
Yeah.
You went on a crazy long break. What brought you to going on such a long break from everything?
Oh man, that's kind of a thing that All right. So there's this thing with people don't realize about content creation if you're not an actual content creator is that you always constantly compare yourself to other people.
True.
And it's inevitability that people are gonna be better than you, people are gonna like surpass you, and not everyone's gonna like enjoy your vibes. And I get that. There's always like a part of me that's like always kind of like beating myself over it. So burnout is one thing, obviously, because I had streamed twice a day every single day for like a year.
Right.
And after like I thought that people like enjoyed the content and like enjoyed me. And then it's this thing is I've actually kind of kept it like under wraps for like forever because it seems
Going
like
on a break? Going on a break, like kind of like the reason why you went on, or just
yeah, the reason I guess I
Mm.
could say now. It's like been long enough where like it's irrelevant.
Hmm.
I had my birthday stream and it's like also close to my 1 year anniversary. And in the birthday stream, I've also made it my debut stream. So it's like this big event. I made like subathon goals for it.
Mhm.
And I would always be watching other people like have like these subathons where like they would always like break all their goals and like tons of donations and stuff like that.
Mm.
And my subathon goal didn't even break the first one.
Mm.
And so that really kind of like tore me apart. And it's like, so people like to watch me, but they don't necessarily like to support me. So
So
that
you
kind
take
of
you?
like,
It's like you take it kind of personally, right? Like
yeah.
when
not really personally, because again, it's like, I don't need the support and everything because I have a IRL job. But it's like,
Mhm.
kind of like, it's just that thing where I just compare myself to other people. And it's like, I hate that part about me. Where like I'm ungrateful for what I do get, and I'm like I
Mm.
can't be happy for like other people. Like I'm not happy like everyone else's sometimes go well. I'm happy that people like their support, and then it's great. It's like me being myself. Like, am I not good enough? Like, am I not entertaining enough?
It's kind
What
of
am
like a
I doing
natural like
wrong?
reaction that you have when it comes to like your version of success. Like when you have this like image of what success means to you, and like it doesn't like achieve that kind of direction. Because in your eyes, like what is a successful subathon to you mean? Does it mean hitting all these goals that you set?
Mm, I honestly don't really have like what a successful subathon is. I just know what a failed subathon looks like. It's
Yeah.
like
Mm.
I spend like months like building it up. I like spent like hours like making like
Right.
the best I possibly could, and not a single goal was met. It like there's no way you can be happy with that. It's you get
Yeah.
nothing but like so negative thoughts about that.
Right.
So
I think
I just
anyone
took a
would
break to
feel
like
like that.
reevaluate myself.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just wanted to like kind of like reset my brain of like what I got into streaming for. Like I
Mhm.
wasn't in it for the money. I knew that. I was just doing it just cause like I just wanted to see what I was capable of.
Do you
When
ever
success
like
of derail.
do you ever like do these tasks though, like and then accept that at some point or like that there is a potential that this thing that you're doing isn't going to succeed? Do you ever like when you're creating this stuff? Because think about how many times that people have like put a lot of effort into something and it didn't succeed or it didn't reach the point they wanted to, right? Or it failed, right? That happens. It's gonna happen. As a content creator in
It's
general, I feel like
inevitable.
it's inevitable, right? Um,
Mhm.
and it definitely is like it definitely hurts a lot. But when it happens, I don't think running away is like the right decision. I don't say you ran away, but um, if something, then this is I'm guilty of it too. I think I'm really guilty of it too because like I think for instance when and I'm not gonna turn this like a pity party for myself, but when something really awesome happens, right? But then after that super awesome thing happens, you go back to like the normal whatever pace that you're doing in your life, it's like, oh man, like this sucks. And you get like a lot of demotivation. I try my best, like, and I don't always succeed at it, but I try my best to like, hey, I can't accept that as like an L. You know, I can't look at that as an L. I need to look at it as, hey, I did something. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Let me see what I did wrong or what I could do better to make sure that doesn't happen again, or to change my direction as far as like being successful. And I think that any content creator that's gone through that or takes their content creation really seriously and looks at it as like a business wise, if you look back at what you did and instead of picking out all the, you know, man, this failed because it didn't look like this guy's thing or this girl's thing or this person's thing, taking that and being like, okay, what was different what could I do different next time that's going to change the way this is going to work out? Do I need to promote it more? Do I need to, you know, see if anyone wants some new goals that I like have, or like, do I need to just not look at somebody else and say, hey, mine needs to be like theirs, right? Because there are some things that person that you might look at, or whatever person succeeds or you're comparing to, where they're failing in other places too, right? And that you might be succeeding somewhere else that they aren't. Everyone's going to have like a successful point, because there's no content creation out there where every single thing that they do is a successful content creation or successful content that they make. Everything you do is going to something's going to work, some things aren't going to work, right? And just because, you know, the money didn't inflow, or that there wasn't the subs, or it didn't reach the goals, it didn't push towards the goals, doesn't mean that the support wasn't there. You know what I mean? There could have been support in a different way. I don't know if that makes sense, but in a different form. Like, I think for one of the best examples is your content creation on Twitter, like the memes that you make. Like, I think that by far has been something that's incredibly successful. Now think about all the memes that other people have made on Twitter that get maybe like 2 likes, or like aren't incredibly successful. Whereas I think it's safe to say that the memes that you make on Twitter are absolutely successful. Everyone knows about them. So if you look at that, that's an aspect of your content creation that's successful, versus, you know, all the negative things that might be kind of you've been thinking about. Then I think it would have a lot more better results and less of a feeling of needing to take a break.
Oh no, so the break isn't exactly necessarily like me like running away, quote unquote.
Right? Yeah. No, I didn't.
It's like me. Oh no, I didn't say that, you insinuated. But it's more like me trying to like figure out what to really do. But like I can't revamp myself if I'm still streaming, because I'm too busy streaming, making the same content, to like think of new ideas to like make new content. So at the end of my break, so during my entire break, I've been like editing, researching, looking at other Twitch channels, see like what the successful people do differently and all that stuff. Doing tons of commissions and making memes too. Like, I've been making memes before my comeback even happened. So you notice that compared to my content now versus content then, it's like completely different. And it's more successful now because of my break, because I've been able to like
to take
really
that step
focus
back
on
and kind of
what I
look at
need
like,
to do.
right.
I can
Yeah.
agree with that in a sense. I actually used to do IRL streaming, and I did it since I was 17 up until I did IRL streaming for 2.5 years. And every day I would go live and I would stream for 8 hours, like every day.
Oh,
and
you
I
took
would,
the autumn route.
I should know about
Yep.
that.
Wow.
I streamed, and I like had my camera, and I, like I played whatever game I was feeling like, and I worked hard. Like, I worked hard back then, I remember. And something that like it was like the first time I'd ever started streaming, and it was like a humongous learning experience. Those 2 years, I used to not be able to talk like I do now. I can talk someone's ear off just from like being by myself, because
I think that that's something
know,
that happens just over time as like a
Yeah.
person who's like, when you're streaming and you're forced to talk to like a camera, it's like I have to learn how to talk to myself and have a good conversation with myself.
Yeah.
So it's like something you just develop over time. Like as
Yeah,
like I think it's just
yeah.
general. I don't know if it's like a streaming thing or it's like a content creator thing or just
Like
freaking lonely as hell.
introverts like fauna form.
Yeah.
You learn how to talk to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
I'm
but
still trying to get there too, because like my content is just like dancing for an hour and 30, and then I might like talk for 10 minutes max. But
Freestyle
it's
too.
like, so yeah, I can
Yeah.
freestyle and be super confident in that aspect to any song that people give me in real time. But like when it comes to just kind of relaxing and talking and being like, "Hey,
Yeah.
how's your day going?" Like I'm getting there, but it's still kind of
Yeah,
new to
yeah.
me. So you guys have a lot of experience. That's interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of the like cliche, like, oh, I'm like, I was a girl and like I should have just blown up right away. Like that's what
No.
people were like telling me. No, like I had for 2.5 years,
Yeah.
5 viewers, 5, and I'm not like a cockroach. Like
Mm.
I look fine. Like I just didn't put like the work that I should have, and
Mm.
it was a big learning experience. I needed to learn how to talk to people, how to hold a conversation, how to be nice to people, not to be on defense every time there's a new person there. 'Cause that
Right.
happens sometimes from like trolling a
I
lot. You
think
get
I think that's a
defensive.
yeah. I was gonna say I think that's a thing that develops over
Yeah.
time because you watch.
Yeah.
Um, I was you you
Huh.
already knew who I'm gonna talk
Sorry,
about.
what?
You already knew who I was gonna
Huh?
talk about. There's this guy on YouTube I watch all the time. Wings of Redemption, the most troll person of all time. Our boy Richard. He's a guy on YouTube. He gets trolled nonstop by people live on his stream all the time, every day.
Yeah.
Every day people are trolling him. And I think that when you're like kind of new to content creating or even just like in general, like there's definitely still people out there who like are probably regular full-time streamers but that get really defensive when it comes to like people who troll and
And
stuff.
I still struggle with that sometimes. Like I'm
Right.
not like perfect. Like sometimes someone will say something and they might not even mean it in like a hurtful way, but they like insulted something that like
Yeah.
kind of itched
No, it
at
fucking
me.
hurts. No,
Yeah, and
it
you're just
hurts. It
like,
hurts. Yeah.
like maybe you don't like you just have this like feeling of like, dang, what am I even doing, But you gotta push back past it. So
Mhm.
yeah, like I've had that experience where like I thought that like me just going in would like just I would, like I would do well, but there was
Yeah.
so much I had to learn. I didn't make friends. I didn't watch people's streams back then. I didn't use my social medias like smart. And
But you're on this
I
grind for 2 years, kind of just like going at the same
yeah,
pace and like
like I
kind
was
of like
going
not
8
taking that
hours
time to
a day.
like crow ahead
Yeah.
of like looking back and being like, hey, what are they doing wrong
Yeah.
here?
And one day I went live and I don't even remember what happened, but someone was like insulting me live and I
Hmm.
just shut my stream off and I was like, I'm never doing this again. Never turning on live
Mm.
again. And I literally like thought that
Hmm.
that was it. I never thought I'd come back, and that was back in like 2019 or something like that, like a long time ago. And that was it. Like I chalked it up to no, it was 2020, but I chalked it up and I never thought that I would come back. And then, that itching feeling. I don't know any of you like you crave streaming. Like I love streaming.
Yeah, I think
I
that definitely happens. I
Yeah.
crave
really
both.
enjoy it.
I crave both. I crave there are moments where I'm like, man, I really wish I was streaming, and there are moments when I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey guys, sup? Like, oh, but that happens all the freaking time.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
there's both
Yeah.
mediums of like really craving for
Yeah.
sure.
Imagine being
Um
on a break, forcing yourself not to stream for like half a year.
Yeah, don't
mhm.
let me
Or
freaking crow
killer.
issues, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Damn, imagine.
Like 2 times a year for 2 times a day for a whole entire year, and all of a sudden, no.
Well,
Yeah.
take the streaming thing, or take what you say out of streaming context and just put it towards like your daily applications of like life, like school or whatever you're doing. Like, no matter what you do, it honestly, I think determination is like a really important factor, and like coming towards like I don't know, you could put it in like a dancing context. Like if you spend a year dancing and you're like, man, I am not getting any like progress or anything, you kind of like look back at yourself and kind of like almost want to like stop and like shut it
Yeah.
off. Um, and then sometimes taking a break from dancing, you come back and you do a
Mhm.
dance, like holy cow, I did a bunch of new stuff.
It's like a refresh.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
Taking that
refresh
break.
from
I
like
took a whole
stale
year.
content creation or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
I took a whole year and I never actually thought I would push live again. But
Right.
then like I started like breaking down my own content. Like I looked at myself and I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like why am I not succeeding? Because I know I
Mm.
have the passion, but
Right.
I didn't have the combination. Like I wasn't doing it right.
Hmm.
And I read a lot of books on like this, and I watched a lot of streams, and just overall like the same thing, like not necessarily like taking what other people were doing, but like understanding why they're successful, and understanding like how to be a better streamer, how to be a better person.
Mm.
And I came back, I prepared for months. Like I was like putting some heat under my social medias, hinting that I might come back. And then I did full swing, and I'm not necessarily saying I'm the most successful, but I'm definitely grateful for like everything I have. If this was
Right.
my peak, I definitely want to do more, but this is my peak. Like, I'm happy. Like, this is a big community that I've met and wonderful friends that I've made because I learned how to do that. I learned how to make friends, and I learned how to watch people's streams and not
Mm.
compare myself to what other people are doing, but take it as a learning experience or like an inspiration.
It's so hard to like
Mm.
convince yourself that too. A lot of the times, I think that alone, I think it's not like a hey, I instantly learned how to take everything that people do and look at it as like a learning thing. I don't compare myself
Yeah.
anymore. It's a battle. It's a constant
yeah.
battle not comparing yourself to other people. I feel like
Yeah.
like in everything. It's not just content creation. It's everything. Like
Yeah.
like even like dancing. Like I can't tell you how many times people have been like, you know, look at other dancers that like I know and been like, man, I even do it. Like I even used to look at other dancers and be like, man, I really wish I would like be that good. I don't want to dance because if I'm not good at that, as good as they are, I think it's just like no matter what you do, it's like always like kind of in that, you know, it's gonna be have that some sort of factor to it. What did everyone do before streaming? Like what kind of jobs or like what was your like what did you think you were gonna do before streaming?
Oh,
I was
goodness.
gonna be a mechanical engineer.
Oh, wow.
What do you do right now? What
Yeah.
are you doing? What's your job right now?
Right now, I work at a nail salon. I work with my mom,
Mm.
and the reason why I had to like drop out of college, I was a straight A student, 4.0 GPA of mechanical engineering. But because my mom is like
Freaking
owning the
Asians.
store by herself,
Mm.
right? Imagine being Asian. I
God,
actually enjoy
imagine.
math. It's weird. Like it's
Me
actually fun
too.
for
You
me.
know what? Me too. I enjoy
Yeah.
math. I enjoy history. I
I like
hate
doing the
English.
puzzles. Like
That was my major.
Yeah. Oh my
yeah,
god.
Yeah,
English or
yeah,
math.
mathematics.
Sweet's a freaking
Yeah,
math
math.
major.
Well, I went from English to math, but it took me like 4 or 5 years to graduate, like 5 years to graduate because I did that. But I'm glad I did because everyone
Yeah,
looks at
aren't you like
mathematics.
a programmer now? Like, don't you know how to do like all the cool
Yeah,
coding stuff? Yeah,
Yeah.
works
yeah,
out.
I code now. It's fun, but my hobby, like to go back to your question, like my hobbies were like going to Barnes and Nobles at like right after work and spending like all day until it closed
That
and just
sounds
reading
so nice.
books.
Yeah.
It's really
I used
comfy.
to
I
do
feel like
that
we
It's
all
when I
had
really
was
really
young.
like
introverted
freaking
too.
like
Yep.
stale ass lives before we started streaming or before we started like VRChat. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, my
Yeah,
life. I don't even know who I was before like VRChat.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't even
it's like
know Discord
I've
or
said this
like
before, but I've like never felt more alive until like I stopped moving my body in real life and started moving my body virtually. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
It's such like it's
yeah.
like I guess like you're mentally
oh,
awake when you start like doing VRChat things,
interesting.
like doing
See,
online
that's
things.
that's the reason why people like literally live, breathe, and sleep in VR chat. And, like
Yeah,
the
you
Mhm.
just feel like
reason you live in the real world
more
is go to the
here.
bathroom and work.
Hmm.
I much prefer being an animal boy, honestly, than my real life.
Yeah, it's great. It's
But yeah,
crazy.
I work at a nail salon, and that's how I pay for like all my cool things. And so now I
Mhm.
Do you like
work.
want to go back to school?
Oh yeah, definitely. I plan moving out and like going to school full time and like streaming is be put to like part time. I kind
I've
of want to
never gone
like
to college. I can't.
I have not
I
either.
can't.
Mhm.
I suck ass
I
at like school stuff. I'm so bad. I'm one of those people who so I'm one of those people that when homework time comes around, you know, like the teachers are kind of going around, it's like being like, "All right, guys, homework time." I always like do that thing where like I open my backpack and I'm like,
my dog ate it.
Girl.
and then you pull out like a piece of paper and you're like, "Yeah, I didn't do
Yeah.
it." But you make it look like you're opening a bag. You make it look like you're looking for your homework. That's
Make
me.
yourself feel
Mhm.
better.
Yeah. That I don't know. I don't know if it's like a responsibility thing or if I'm just lazy as fuck, but I don't do homework. So I could
Mm.
never do college stuff, I guess.
I
Doesn't
love
mean I don't
doing
want to
homework.
though. It doesn't mean I don't want to. I suck at college. I suck at school stuff.
I just see homework as like kind of like a side mission in like MMOs. It's
Yeah.
A
weird.
side mission. Yeah, yeah. Recommendation. You can maybe do it and you'll still you still as long as you do the main story, right?
Mm. Main story with an end
Main
goal is get a
storyline,
piece
that's
of
all that
paper.
matters.
Are y'all
A piece of
playing?
paper that says you graduate, and a piece of paper that says that you're this much in debt. That's the goal.
Mhm.
Have y'all been playing like new games whenever they come out and like
Lost
streaming, like
Ark!
I
Elden
wish.
Ring and stuff?
Lost
I wish. I don't
Ark!
have the time for that.
Yeah, it's mostly VR
Yeah.
or mostly VRC.
Well, no,
Yeah.
IRL work and then like streaming stuff. Yeah.
How far
I
are you
have
from your
time to
work?
play games.
Didn't you just come from work? You said you're with a customer and I was DMing you. What did
Yeah, like 5 minutes away.
5
minute
minutes? So
drive.
you just like drive there, do
Uh,
your work, and then drive back. Like Just randomly, or like because you were on earlier today, right?
So I asked my mom if I can like come earlier so I can
Oh,
like
so you
kind of like
can
just
get on the show.
get on. But then like a customer came in, it got really busy. She called me in, and I'm like, okay, I can fit in like 1 or 2 customers. Then went there, came back, and
Mm.
yeah, I didn't want to do more customers. An extra like $50 in my pocket for like, I don't know,
Do you ever get the people
commission.
that
There you
come in with
go.
like really grody ass
Ooh.
nails, and you're like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
man,
like old people
do you get
mostly.
pedicures?
No.
Do you get
hmm
pedicures? That's fun.
I do. I actually,
Which
whenever I say that, now people are gonna ask me like, "Yo, when you get a TwitchCon, do my nails?" I'm like, "All right, get
I
in
was just
line."
gonna say.
Like, oh man,
I
the designated
legitimately have
nail
an appointment
polisher.
for TwitchCon of
Yeah.
like how
Oh
many
god.
people's
Well, I
nails I'm
mean,
gonna be
sign
doing this
Sweet and I
August.
up. Boom.
I'll pay you good. Don't worry.
I won't.
Oh gosh.
I'll pay for you.
Just pay me in friendship.
Aw,
Be a
Oh
good
wow,
conversation
that's
while I'm
wholesome.
doing your nails. That's all I ask for.
That's
take you out
wholesome.
to
Because
like
that's
some
the reason I go to TwitchCon. I'm
something.
going to TwitchCon to like have fun, not to make money.
I
I
am.
want to meet my friends.
Oh, and then
Speaking
eat. I'm
speaking
just
of like
kidding.
body care, so
Oh,
who has long hair? Does you guys? Well, I don't know if you have long hair, but
No. Chop it off.
I, there are times where like I
Oh,
let my hair grow out, and I'm always like, I like go to get in VR, and I'm going to lay down, and like your hair like kind of like gets stuck in like the air and like whatnot, or like jam in
Yeah.
your earphone, like, and like you get to this point where you're like I'm so fed up of having hair, so I went in my bathroom and I started like, I take my razor and I'm like looking at it, I'm like.
Do it.
And I start shaving the top of my head. And every time I go to shave my head, and I don't do it very often. I do it when I get really fed up. It's usually at like right before I'm about to go to bed. It always looks really easy, like cutting your own hair. It looks super easy. Like, oh, it's just a razor. I can just go vroom, and I'm done because I have an electric one. And then like you, the second you put your razor to your head, it's the most whole feeling of instant regret that you'll ever have. You're just like, oh, no. So then you have to commit to it, and I don't. My hair is really bad right now,
My
but I
hair
mean,
is supposed to
uh,
look like this, like a normal bob. But
right?
this one night, like I was playing VR and like there was hair like falling into my eye, like my eye view, and I was just
That's the worst.
done.
That's the freaking
Yeah.
worst. It's so
So
frustrating. It makes you. It's like a tiny little thing that just like
yeah,
bothers the hell, and you start itching your head. And you're like,
yeah.
I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah, so I had my partner. I was like, just chop it off. I don't care. Chop it all off. And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I
dang.
look like a Fraggle. Like my hair is so lopsided right now, and like it's so
Don't
yucky,
worry.
but
I look like I have
I
a
don't
like.
care.
There are parts of my hair when I took my razor that I definitely like pushed down too far. So they're
Yeah.
like alternating levels. Like I look like I have a freaking like Tetris hair. It's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to grow it out so I can go to the barber and like get it fixed.
That's
But
that's what I
man,
told
like
Sam. Like, ah, it doesn't matter. I'll grow it eventually.
yeah, it's
Shave my own head.
for me it's like it's just hair. So at the end of the day, like if I really wanted like a long pretty hair, I could just go
Yeah.
buy a wig or whatever. But for VR comfortability, I see people say that they like braid it on the sides and I'm like, no, like I can't. Like the feeling of my hair in my headset like grosses me out and I just have to chop it all off. Like if I had the option just to always be bald or have like really short hair and it would never grow, I would do that. But that
Hmm.
doesn't happen.
You tried wearing a beanie before you put on your headset, so it just feels like
Uh,
you're wearing a heavy beanie.
I feel like my head would be like too hot. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have a headband, like a
I want
really
to be
one
like
of
if
those
you had like an
really thick
afro.
ones.
How would it be like? How would playing in VR go if you have an
I
afro?
don't
You know how funny
know.
that would
I
look?
mean,
You'd have
it's
like
normal.
Split your hair when you take your headset off
I
too.
have seen
Yeah.
people have that
Kinda get
index
that.
indent on their head.
Oh my
For me,
gosh.
Yeah.
For me, it sucks because I can't like play the VR in the morning and go to work because I have to get
Right.
split in the head.
Oh,
And
Oh,
my
because
mom being my
oh my
boss
gosh,
always called me out on it.
the imprints that headsets make on like everything on your body, it's like you could tell
yeah.
it's someone's in VR. I feel like I have a roommate, right? And sometimes like he'll come out of like his room or that after like drinking or like whatever being in VR, and I'll like see him and I'm like, VR, huh? And he's like, look at me with this giant like goggle red
The
mark
big
around his
crest
face. I'm
on
like,
your
Yeah.
face.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell someone's been in VR. That's a VR chat
Yeah.
player.
Right.
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny because like like people have like headset head where like they'll wear their headset so much that there's a dent in their head.
Yeah.
Like
In the skull.
I've always wondered if it'll
Oh,
be the
that's
same
happened.
thing with like indexes.
That's happened with my
Like,
glasses. My glass. Oh my god, my freaking glasses. Like I have a fat head. I have a fat ass head, and my my headset will push against my glasses sometimes. And this is before I have lens inserts in my headset now, which are like prescription lenses for headsets.
It's
But when I used to wear my glasses, they would push in my head so tightly that the fat on the sides of my head would create this mold where you could see an indent of where the glasses were on my head. So if we took my headset off, I'd have this like weird like hourglass shaped head. It was absolutely the worst, and it would like give me massive headaches too because I was busy crushing the
yeah,
sides of my head like where the temples are. Do
yeah.
you so if when you're doing your pedicure stuff, do you give yourself like your own manicures and pedicures, or do you have someone
no,
else give you one?
not to brag, but my nails are actually like default perfect. I was in
Okay,
comments on it
all
all the
right.
time.
Oh
Must be
my
nice.
god.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
So
I bite my
I don't really
nails
don't need anything.
Oh
beyond repair. I bite my
no.
Oh, I
nails
get
beyond
so much
repair.
of those. Yeah, nail biters are like the hardest customers to work with.
Yeah,
I don't
I
don't
absolutely
deal
bite my
with
Like
those.
nails
file down your nail
beyond
to
repair.
nothing when you bite it. You're just chewing on them.
Yeah,
Are
I don't.
they all short and stubby?
Well, okay. They're like so. I'll like bite them to the point where I like kind of get it down to the point where it's like it hurts. Do you ever like you know like you ever like cut your nail too short? That's where like I
Yeah,
bite my
I
nails
do
down
that a
too.
lot. I
But the
cut
thing is,
my
I
nails
bite my
too.
nails when I'm like doing something. If I'm like working or whatever, or like working. If I'm like working or like I'm like watching YouTube, and I'll just like kind of like just like fold my hand in my like mouth and like actually just start biting it. I don't know. It's just like it's kind of like a subconscious thing at some point.
Wear gloves when you like do your work.
Could you imagine walking on with rubber gloves to your PC? Like, yeah, no, I have a problem. That is until I start biting through the rubber.
Oh man,
Oh
is that
no.
serious?
It's not that bad. I mean, my sister has a really bad problem with biting her nails, but I think it just developed over time because I used to like work office jobs. And, like office jobs, you're like constantly just sitting there like doing nothing, so you get like I don't know these random like ticks of being bored where you just do things.
Yeah.
I'm glad I never
What
got
did you
to
do
have
before
it.
streaming, Moon?
I was a kid in high school. I'm I'm only 21 right now. So throughout I had like off and on like random minimum wage jobs. Like the last one I had, I was the lead at a Home Depot customer service desk. So I
Oh
would deal
God.
with yeah,
Oh
I deal with
God.
like $10,000 orders like every single day.
Hmm.
It was, you know, it's not like the hardest job in the world, and it's kind of weird. Like I was 4.0 honor student. They thought I had scholarships ready and lined
Oh
up,
well, look
and
you guys. Hey, join the club. You guys can both
yeah, like I
graduate together, I
just
guess.
Nerd game, let's go.
yeah, like
Went to school together.
I would
Probably.
definitely be open to like college, but the thing is like I don't know what I want to do, and I see
That
all my friends in college and they're just miserable and like always in debt.
yeah.
And I don't think I'm ready for that yet. And like college is something you can always go back to. Like I know like maybe
I
I'm
feel like
not
that's
gonna
what I
get
tell
out of
myself.
opportunities. Like but I'm not trying to like get a 9 to 5 job right now.
Yeah.
Like that's not what I want to do.
Hmm.
At least right now in my life. So I know like in the future I actually really liked school and I know if I put my mind to it I'll be fine. But yeah, like I like just I barely finished high school and I was just like, yeah, I
Hmm.
don't know. It's too much commitment, like thinking what I want to do because I have no clue. So yeah.
That's always the biggest fear I had when I was a kid. Is
Was
like
like getting the
not
wrong
necessarily.
thing and not being able to like commit to having to
Yeah,
commit to
like
it. Mm.
what
Yeah.
if I never like get my life together? You know, what if I'm like gonna be working at McDonald's for the rest of my life? Cause like I don't know, just that bad life.
Mm. I
Yeah.
think sweet you're like in career mode
Yeah.
because you're older than
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I'd have like 6, 7 years of software engineering,
Mm.
but like I floated around, and it's not just coding all day. It's like you have to like learn to work with people, and you have to like learn to be a good employee. Well,
Mm.
I say good employee. Like you need to learn to speak for yourself too. Like if you're getting treated unfairly, but sometimes you want to go on vacation. Sometimes you want to leave early. You might have kids, and
Yeah.
so like, yeah, I went to school. Well, originally I wanted to be like an English major, and then I'm kind of glad I switched to math because now I like have a very high paying job at a
Yeah.
pretty good company.
Hey, let's go.
Um, yeah, but if I were gonna go back and really like be dedicated, it would be for like a psychology or sort of liberal arts, like some kind
Mhm.
of art-ish
Yeah.
major, because I think we're all kind of creatives.
I
And
feel like
so
it's just
like
so hard to do things that you want to do and get paid for it. I don't know. Like obviously you're doing something that
there's a
you are.
balance.
It's like it's so
Mhm.
Yeah.
difficult to like be like in life in general. It's like, hey, if you want to do something that you want to do, you're not going to be earning money to do it. It's kind of like you have to do something on the side to make money that you hate or that makes you completely miserable. Because I'm not gonna lie, before full time streaming, like I freaking hated everything. Like I worked in a
Yeah.
factory and it sucked. It was the worst. I would like just I hated everything, and I feel like in life it's so difficult to reach the point of like doing what it is that you want to do and still be able to be afloat. And it's not even that people who like are after these like dream jobs or like care about making a buttload of money. It's just I want enough money to be able to eat, sleep, and do everyday stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think that
Yeah.
that's like such a difficult thing in like society. And even when you have
Yeah.
the degree, even when you have like a degree in the field that you want, it's like, okay, but you have to go through all of these loops before you can reach this specific point. And by the time they reach that point, it's like, you're already way older than you were when you first started. So it's like you give up so much of your life reaching the point of doing something you want when you could just start doing something that you want now. And
Yeah.
I think that that's a big influence of why I didn't go to college, is because like I was like, man, I don't want to like just be locked in this one position, and I'm like one of those people that just can't do the same job longer than a year. If I'm stuck at the
Yeah.
one same place for over a year, I freak out. Like I literally
Mhm.
freak out.
Like
So
my life, like I'm gonna spend the rest of my life there, and I like
yeah, and
panic, and
that
I'm just like, come up with an excuse, and I'm like, okay, like I don't want to do this
mhm,
anymore. Like I'm not, like I totally agree, and that's what the scariest thing, because I was thinking of going to college for like acupuncture and physical therapy.
mhm,
Um,
Mm.
and I still kind of want to do it, but now looking back, like if I was still going to college, my whole life would be completely different, and I don't know if I'd be happy. Like right now, I'm relatively as happy as I can,
mhm,
be, and I'm in a comfortable situation, and I'm getting to like create art and do things that I want. And if I would still be in college right now
mhm,
in an old rundown town that I didn't like, and I don't even know, like it's that's and like it was coming up and approaching, and I just panicked, and I was like, I can't do this. Like I appreciate everyone trying to get me into this college, but it
yeah,
is too much for me right now, and I don't think I'm like at the time, because I was only 17. I was like I don't think I'm mature enough to jump into this right now, and I need some time to grow up and think about what I
yeah.
want to do before I waste all my life and my money away on that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that like when it comes to like career choice in general, it's like such a it's like everyone just always needs more time like decide what they want to do. And I think the bottom line is that I don't feel personally that like we are meant to do one job our whole lives. Like regardless of what it is, like I just don't feel that way about like humans. I feel like because of just like how dynamic people's personalities are, and that we're constantly discovering ourselves like every day and learning things about ourselves, that aspect of our lives as far as career choice goes is also dynamic in a sense of where you're constantly wanting to do new things with life. And in a society where it's like, hey, you need to spend 4 years of your life if you want to change your careers to learn this new thing, it's just, there's just not enough time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Obviously, like no one forces people to like do a specific job, but it almost feels like you're forced into, uh, you know, getting this degree and following this sort of set path that everyone goes on in order to reach their dream jobs. Um,
Yeah.
and it's sad. It really is sad sometimes. Um, but I feel like sweet. Like you've told me that you're happy with the jobs that you get to do, and like coding makes you happy and you enjoy it. Um, but it's like, how does it feel of like taking 4 years of your life to, I guess, like reach that point? Like, do you look back at those like four
Yeah.
years as like just like a big blur? Like I just studied really hard and was spent times in classrooms and books and tests and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a reason why I chose math. It's the most abstract thing that I could find to teach myself how to solve problems. And so that
Hmm.
skill is valuable anywhere. Like you guys solve problems in technical stuff, and then to like more personality stuff, and then like managing a stream type stuff. So
Mm.
I thought like taking math would help me produce music better, to be honest, before I knew about streaming, and then it just helped a lot. So, but at the end of the day, I paid, it was like 40, 50 grand like for the whole thing,
Right.
bachelor's degree in
Wow.
mathematics. My parents did help me out though. That really, really
Yeah.
helps if
I think money's just
it's,
one of the factors, right? It's literally just one of the factors
yeah,
of
I had a,
pursuing.
Yeah.
and the thing is like it just becomes a little line in your resume, and then once you
Mhm.
start getting work experience, nobody cares about that little line on your resume. It's like the work experience from there on. And you know that. It's like
Hmm.
people look for that. So it's tough. But I think like if you weren't, say you didn't do streaming, I do think there's something inside of different people that like makes them want to excel at something. Like for example, dancing, right? Kuro and Crow, you're like still doing it after 6 months or probably like a year, half a year or something, and like you're getting better and I'm seeing like improvement and stuff. So just to pick something and excel at it is, I think it's like essential to being to
Mm.
having some purpose in your life. So maybe it wouldn't be
Definitely.
streaming, but it's
Yeah.
streaming, and I'm glad you guys are happy doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You'd be like a plumber or something. You just be like, I'm gonna be the best damn plumber in the world.
Yeah.
Like, because people still need that, right? It's still valuable, and it
Yeah,
still
Yeah.
I
gives your
think that
life
when people are
meaning and
like,
stuff.
I want to do this job because it's a high demand job, people want to do it. It's like at the end of the day, like it's an to each their own kind of thing. Like where
Mm,
it's like, all right, if you want to make money and then go do the highest paying, least effort job kind of thing. Um, but at the same time, it's like I feel like it leaves like not a lot of options for the ones who just want to do something they like have always dreamed about, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
mm,
it's just like it's always like it's never easy if that makes sense, I guess. It's never
Mhm.
easy to reach things in life, and that's maybe just like the whole point of the whole purpose of like kind of existence is that there's a lot of really really difficult things to overcome in order to reach destinations in life. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know, just look at all the people who want to be full-time streamers
Yeah.
that have like sit there and
Millions of people that go
question
live
why.
daily,
Yeah,
like
right,
every single.
right.
Mhm.
And anyone I think who has reached a point of that have said it takes a lot of hard work to even get there. So
Mhm.
maybe we're doing it now, but just not actually realizing that it's part of the process of like kind of
Yeah.
reaching your dream, I guess.
Well, for example, like when I used to work at Home Depot, I had nothing else really going on for me, and it was just one of those like I literally just worked because it was the only thing that like kept me busy. I
Hmm.
would do 11-hour shifts
mm,
every single day, and I would come home and I would spend all night in VR and like rinse and repeat.
mhm,
But it didn't make me happy. Like I had, a little bit more money, but at the same time, like I was dealing with like such like customer service in general is just atrocious. Like it
No,
doesn't
yeah.
even
Oh
mm.
my God,
like
so bad.
God.
I
it's
can't
just like
imagine doing freaking nails
well
as customer
yeah,
service either.
like
Like,
I feel like some of the most entitled
Hates it.
people like you
yeah.
deal with daily. I don't know, but I just felt like so just unsatisfied. And
Mm,
with like my life choices and like they were like I almost felt like they were like trying to lock me in because they knew if I do
mm,
something, I'll work really hard at it. And
Yeah.
mhm,
why like I was managing a team of 10 people and I was 19 at the time and my team was consisting of like 30, 40-year olds, like a lot of people that were older than me. And it I just still felt like unsatisfied and I quit and they were like begging me to stay there like you could be a
mm,
manager here, like you can,
Hmm.
do all this stuff and I was like
But this
I'm
is not
not
what I want to do. I don't want to be
yeah,
a
like
Home Depot manager.
Yeah, that's
here. Like
wasted
I
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Right.
I don't want to get stuck here and then realize that like I'm like tied down to this situation. And
That goes back
like
to the whole like doing a different job. Like I
yeah,
don't believe humans are meant to do the same thing
yeah,
forever. We just aren't. We
yeah,
literally aren't. Like I don't even think we're meant to stream forever. Like we're gonna at
yeah.
some point in
And
all of our lives we're gonna be doing something different. And
I
I think
don't think
that's
that I'm
just
gonna
the
stream
world.
forever,
Eventually.
sure. Like I
Right.
know that there will be an end to this one day, but I want to feel satisfied before I close the book on
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Um and
I guess no
I
matter what, I think that's something that everyone should look at.
yeah,
It's like just no
yeah.
matter what career you're doing, Like when I see
Yeah.
some of these people, and I don't know if it's like maybe like a non-millennial thing, maybe it's like a different generation thing where they like work the same job for like 45 years, and I'm just like, what? Like I could never do that. I could never do that. At most, I could do the same job for maybe like 2 years max, and like then
Yeah.
I need a new fresh, I need a new scenery. I don't know if it's just a me thing or because
It's
I'm like
also like
freaking I have
some
ADHD or
some people
something.
do enjoy
Well,
like
I've
Right.
seen
some
that.
people like will do a job like my father, for example, he does not like his job, but he's been doing it for 25 years.
It's like, yeah, then why like I don't understand that.
Not
And
to
it's
discredit those people. Like, I kind of understand. Like, if you
like
have a
it's just secure,
responsibility, like
and
taking
yeah,
care
you
of
have
it,
responsibility,
yeah,
and
Right.
yeah, it's
it's not gonna give you,
understandable.
But isn't
joy.
that missing the whole like purpose of life, which is prioritizing your like yourself? Like I
I think it's
understand
a
that people are
different
under your
mindset
wing, but why
too.
don't you work with them to change your own like direction? I guess like if I had a family and
Yeah.
like I sat my
Mhm.
family down, like, hey, I am not happy doing this job.
Yeah.
Like I need you guys to
Sure.
understand this job is killing me. Like
Mm.
my mental can take it. Or I think it's boring, or I can't handle it. Like we're a family, but I also have to like kind of look out for myself. So let's
Yeah.
together kind of work on a solution. Like I don't know. That's how like
I
I feel
think
like I would
Yeah.
approach it if I had a family.
sometimes I feel like there's a level of like fear of like protecting your family as well, because I
Right.
honestly think if my dad never had me or my siblings, he would have quit his job and done what he wanted.
Yeah.
But he had two kids
Mm.
on the way, and he was a single father, and he was just like, what the fuck do I do?
Hmm.
And he just had to
Mm.
make that sacrifice. And then, like we started growing up, and he was like, okay, he actually quit and like tried to do something else, but it came back to like, oh, like now my kids are in high school, I need to get them through high school, and so he came back to the security,
Hmm.
the knowing that this is always going to be there, no matter how miserable it is, and you just do it. And I think sometimes it's a mixture of a different mindset as well, generational differences, where like a lot of people our age
Yeah.
are like,
Generation difference is actually a huge
freedom,
thing.
like let's just do what we want. Where like
Hmm.
people before us are like, no, like you need to figure out what you need
It's
to
a
do now.
massive generational thing. You learn that in
Yeah,
management classes actually, where
yeah.
like because it's how you talk to like specific like generations and how you like train them. That was like one of the main things. So I used to work at Six Flags and I was like a senior manager there. And at Six Flags they had a management core class where they would teach you basically how to talk to different generations, whatever it was. And I can't really remember the names of like different generations that well, but they would basically categorize people's ages and be like, okay, this is how you would say this statement to this person. This is how you would say this statement to this person, and how you get the message across, or how you get closer to this person and understand where they're coming from. And one of
Hmm.
the easiest examples would to be like is if Croa were to call someone like sweetheart versus like a older like like 60-year-old
Yeah,
65-year-old saying
Oh
sweetheart.
no.
It's a totally
yeah,
different kind of vibe. um
yeah.
so like it's and that's like that's a generational difference thing where
Hmm.
it was acceptable back in the day for people to call up darling,
Hmm.
like lady and stuff like that, where it's not the same nowadays. That's like a very raw example of generational differences. But I think that as far as responsibility goes, for sure, there's definitely a generational difference in responsibility where like we
Yeah,
just want to be us. Like a lot of millennials are like, I want to do everything for me. I want to, fuck the system.
yeah.
Yeah.
education sucks. And but it's interesting because it's such a new
Hmm.
way of like life. So
Oh.
when we are reaching adult or not adulthood, but
Hmm.
parents, like when like millennials becoming parents,
Yeah,
and they start like realizing like, man, I don't want to do this job. It's like what is that? What's going to happen at that point, kind of
yeah.
thing.
A
I think
lot.
it's
There's
only
a
time will tell,
big
kind of thing.
in particular areas. I used to live up in Alaska, so I was very isolated from
Oh
like
my
the real
god.
world. But
Mm.
I've moved a lot since then, and now I'm in a really big city. And the like I remember that like there used to be stores open like before like everything that's going on right now. There used to be stores open 24/7.
Hmm.
Now that's not really a thing anymore. And it's coming down to like people are just sick and tired of like the feeling of constantly like putting in effort and not being able to like pay your bills and having to work multiple jobs and having to
Mm.
have multiple roommates. And a lot of people that like I'm around, I see and like I see their experiences. I see that they talk about how Now it's shifting from having a job the rest of your life into what values do you bring to the table? What can you do that helps this? And it can be something super like minuscule, like I know like how to make a website or whatever, and then you can sell that as your like that's how you make your living. And it's a lot of like individual um I don't know, I hope I'm wording it right. I hope it makes sense. It's like individual like what can I bring to the tables that get
Yeah.
brought together. And I think that's the shift that like a lot of people that's happening right now, where I see people, a lot of people in like between like the ages of like 18 and like 35, where like they don't necessarily have like that 9 to 5 anymore. Now it's like, oh, I work from home. This is what I do, and this is what I sell. Like this is my business type of thing. And
A sense
there
of
was
like
a
ownership, a
word.
sense of like I did this kind of thing, right?
Yeah, there's a specific word for it. I forgot, but I was looking into it, and I see it a lot on like my social medias where people talk like this. I do this specific business, and if you hire me, this is what I bring. And it's really weird because like I mean that's always been a thing, but it's very very common now. Like you
Mm.
can look online. I don't know. Like I want to commission someone to make me music, and I can find someone in
Right.
2
Yeah. No,
minutes
I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
that can make
Mm-hmm.
a music for me, and then that's their job. Like that's what they do for a
Mm-hmm.
living.
Like
And
Etsy,
yeah,
Fiverr, Skeb stuff, right? It's all
yeah,
like it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's interesting because all those kind of things have the same category, and it's creativity. And I think
yeah.
that that's a big word to define millennials and a lot of younger generations is creative,
Not
out of the
that older
box things, right?
generations weren't creative,
Right,
but
right.
like
No, no, not to take away
you're
from
allowed to
that, but
embrace your creativity,
we live
and
in an
you're
age of
allowed to
technology where
monetize
creativity
and
can
let it.
span. Right,
Yeah,
right, right,
anyone can find your creativity now,
right.
and you have a much like your audience is the world, and how much work you're willing to put out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how things have always been. Like I remember when the first Apple phone came out, everyone was blown away, like oh my gosh. And now like kids have Apple phones, and now they have
Mm-hmm.
so much access to like everything. It's that type of situation happening on like a bigger scale. Like everybody has access to everything, and you can sustain yourself not necessarily from that job that you hate flipping
Right.
burgers, and you can sustain yourself as long as you have the um, knowledge to do so in whatever talent you want, I
Hmm.
suppose. So
Crow, what would you be doing if you didn't have like stream or weren't doing like, you know, foot fetish creations?
I I get a question asked like, "Do you have foot fetish?" I don't know, I just clean feet.
I just clean feet, man.
I clean
I
feet,
work at nail
man.
salons have feet fetishes.
Because well, here's the
Nah, yeah.
thing. I thought that you would want to do something like, I mean, people don't just do an acting thing out of nowhere because they randomly feel like doing it. But like,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be something you would want to do like in the future, like more of, I guess, because you also are working on a show, right?
Make a movie. No, make a movie. I just wanted to make movies when I was a kid,
Right.
but like I kind of gave up on that dream because of like how competitive it is. And virtual reality was just kind of like
Mm,
my outlet of like
your fresh
my
like
it's really my
audience of
dream.
like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to like be your own director when like you
Yeah.
have like literally access to every single kind of
Yeah.
scenario humanly possible.
Yeah.
Every asset they use in film is available
If
in
I
Yeah.
have enough
VR
money to pay
chat,
for
and
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah,
is you're
yeah.
doing is
I'm actually
completely
There's
available.
limitations, yeah,
making
but like limitations in real life too. So just trade one
Sure,
limitation for another.
sure.
yeah. I'm actually really interested in making movies as well, and I do like short film stuff.
Mm,
And a big dream of mine is to actually I've talked to Crow about this, and like their like streams were actually what their streams and
hmm.
another creator Socks VR were the
Right.
first VR streams that I'd ever been introduced to, and they like blew my mind from like the creativity that you can have in this platform and in this game. And even now, it's like every day I get more and more impressed by what people create, not only in like the game, but like content creators, what they do, and it's really inspiring. A big dream of mine is to make like a short film
Mhm.
like a good short film in VR, some similar to like what you did. And I don't even want to be an actor. I would just love to film it. Like I move the
To actually
camera
do like the
around.
camera work and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
and get people acting in it and all that. So
See,
yeah,
I'm the opposite. I mean, I mean, I do like the camera work and stuff, but um, creative storytelling is like a
hmm
big fantasy. Like, there's a lot of room in fantasy world to like kind of come up with a cool story. Um,
yeah,
when I was when I was younger, kind of like I guess where Kuro probably felt in the same category. Like, I used to watch machinimas online, and there was like that was like the machinima stands for machine cinema. It's basically a movie or show in a video game.
hmm
And I remember the first time I ever came to VRChat or ever saw anything related to VRChat, I was like, oh my god, this is the perfect place to make a machinima.
yeah.
But then you run into the logistics of it where it's like, all right, you got to work around the camera, you got to do an editing, like someone else has to film your idea, like you can't film it yourself if you want to be in it.
hmm
Like it's all these logistical things that like come along with it. And I guess for Crow, like what's your like I guess like plan of approach when it comes like all logistical things for like your show in particular? I don't know if you want to share it. Like what is the whole like synopsis of kind of what you want to do?
Really, just you gotta like run on passion because you're not gonna get like any monetary like anything out of it.
Right.
In
Yeah.
fact, you're like losing a lot of money by doing like a ton of commissions and stuff.
Right, because you
And
got to get
like,
all the assets in the
yeah,
world, and especially if it's like going to be like a full featured thing, right? It's got to be like really, you got to get things
you
things
gotta
made.
you gotta work donation based, like Patreon,
Yeah.
GoFundMe's, and all that. And even then, it's like not guaranteed to like get you there.
Right.
Like Joe
hmm
Hunting was like successful in getting like his movie funded, but he knew people. Like a
Yeah.
lot, he had connections. I'm starting from like the ground. I have like some creds to my name because of Derailed, which is like just pure luck, honestly.
Right.
But like even after like you get past the problem money, there's also like the people, because you're mostly gonna be working on a voluntary basis. There's no guarantee that they're gonna show up. There's no
hmm
guarantee they're gonna be good at their job. There's no
Right.
guarantee that
Like actors and stuff like that, and
yeah,
like
Yeah.
right. So when you like
there's so
run
many
into those
factors.
like situations, it's like, oh man, how do I tell my friend who wanted to be in my show that they
Oh
don't really
no.
match what I want, kind of thing, right? Like I feel like that was actually
Mhm.
I don't know if I told you this. I made a really short scene just to like kind of test it out, like the idea of it, and I think it took me like freaking like 2 weeks to do the stupid thing, and all it was a person walking down the street and going into their apartment. That's it. That's all I filmed. But like editing it, like the whole entire like section that I filmed, I only used like 13 seconds of like a 3 hour thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that comes like into like actual consideration when it comes to like logistics of making a VR chat movie or any movie, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta do like a ton of takes because there's also like you gotta account for like yeeting too. That's like that was huge.
Oh, like
And like
Avatar,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
and then
flying
you
away,
gotta like
tracking.
sync up players too. Like one player can like do like say like a punch. In real life, like they can like react to it. But in like VR chat, like you gotta do like a punch and you gotta tell the other person getting punch. All right,
To
so
move early, kind of
you
thing.
gotta move a little bit earlier so my camera can catch it.
Yeah.
And then you also gotta like you gotta make sure they have good internet. Cause then if they don't have good internet, they're gonna be like
Right.
The
jittery on the way of that
yeah.
punch.
What is it that you're
This
actually
is
working on right now? Like what is it you're working on, like on your end?
uh a lot actually. So the thing with me is that I have all these ideas, but I don't have the time. And like whenever I'm working, my mind like my body's on autopilot, so my mind wanders, and I keep getting more and more ideas. I'm currently working on like a paranormal, like supernatural movie, kind of like in
Mm.
the same like vein as Derailed.
hmm
Uh, another one that's a murder mystery, and another one that's like a POV like love story.
hmm
I sent you the murder mystery one before, if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
think of it.
yeah. Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think I want to see like actual like more like in VR stuff done. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
The hard part with that one though is that it's a cop murder mystery, and the only cop like avatars available are the Lolly Police
Lolly
Department.
Police Department. Yeah.
But their rule
Lolly Police
is
Department
that
ones.
I can't like depict corrupt cops with them, so they're literally off the table. So
Right.
now I
Yeah.
gotta like
Oh,
find
really?
somebody to commission like cop avatars with
Mm.
certain toggles because like they're necessary for the story, which
Yeah.
is money out of my pocket because avatar commissions aren't cheap. especially
Yeah.
if you want ones with like assets that like are allowed to be used in a
Right.
movie
Yeah, you have to
depicting
get the
corrupt
commercial.
cops.
Yep.
Yeah,
Commercial license.
it's tough. And then after that, after I get all the models done, I gotta find the correct actors, someone who can act, someone who can commit, and like I gotta figure out, should I pay them? Is it gonna be like voluntary based? If it's voluntary based, and be unreliable. If it's pay based, well, more money out of my pocket for a project that won't pay me back any money, unless people want to support me through my streams. But even that's like super unreliable.
Mhm.
I
Uh,
could see Sweet being a
yeah.
freaking actor. I don't know why. You give me a vibe of something like that you could be an actor. Or like
An
voice
actor?
actor.
Well, I
Or
thought
voice actor. I could see that.
we're definitely like when you're doing a stream. I would love to be a voice actor. When you're doing a
Yeah,
stream,
I
you're
could
kind
see
of
you.
directing like a
Yeah.
stream, right? You
Yeah.
know, you have to make sure everything's perfect, and you're doing, and like I think that's very close to being a director. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
yeah.
you're like relying on you to be like consistent. It's hard to like rely on
Mm-hmm.
other people to be
Oh, rely on
consistent.
other people.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the factor of having because that was actually that's a good point because that was like the worst part about like trying to figure everything out was like um I don't say cooperation. I don't think that's the right word. Understanding because you have this image in your brain of what you want on in to be in the scene or whatever, how you want it to look like, and if
Yeah.
it doesn't fit that image of what you can see, then it's not doesn't feel like you're kind of fulfilling it. So it's not like the person who's working with you can see exactly what you're imagining, right? So you have to somehow explain that to them of like what you want and how you want it to look like, or how you want like a specific emotion to look like, or where you want them to look, or like the face kind of that they're giving off, or the vibe, or the sound of their voice, or the tone. It's all these like I think when it comes to creative work and working with other people, it's always so difficult to like kind of show them what exactly it is you're looking for. And I think movie
Yeah.
making or like any kind of like cinematography, it's hard to like kind of explain that, I guess.
It's also another thing, like another limitation in VRChat is the voicing too. Because like when you're directing and filming, the voice gets compressed when you're trying to record. So you gotta make sure they say their lines. Well, one
Right.
benefit of VRChat is that they can like read their lines in front of their face. So that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because like excess overlay and stuff like that.
Oh
For
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's actually
And then
that's something you
you
can't do in real life. There's like probably so many like you said before about trading out certain things in film that you can use in VR chat, like rotating cameras. You don't need a freaking swing arm with a camera attached to it in real life. You can just use like VRC lens and stuff like that.
another thing too is the eyes. You can control the eyes without
Oh,
eye
eye
tracking.
tracking. Hey, with
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a
freaking
lot of
OSC
scenes
stuff.
in yeah,
Get
there's a lot
everyone
of
to get
scenes
a
in
vibe per
Real
eye.
where like my eyes like look the other way when the person I'm talking to is like right in front of me.
Oh,
Have you started any
That
like
really
filming
bothered me.
on any of the projects you're working on yet, or is it still like
Right,
something in progress?
the
In progress.
script and done is already done. The models I'm waiting on actually. So
Okay.
that's a process.
Yeah.
And I already have like the actors casted for my first movie.
Mm.
And then like while I'm filming the first movie, luckily my first movie is only gonna have like one actor in it because it's an isekai in the paranormal.
Right.
I don't want to give too many spoilers away just in case.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a really slow process honestly because like the time's limited. I'm probably gonna film like only once a week, edit throughout the
How
week,
much
and
time do
film
you
the next
usually
day.
like have like to work on things? I always talk about how like mental energy and physical energy are two separate pools.
Yeah.
I have very very limited time because I
Mm.
have like work until like 7, and then like I gotta like take care of my little brother too.
Mm.
So like I have basically 7 to 12 because like I want to get good sleep. So like I wake up at like 7 a.m. So 7 hours of sleep.
Mm.
So I have like 5 hours probably of being able to work on my stuff. And that's if like my mom doesn't make me do chores.
Did you have plans to move
Uh,
out some while back?
I did. Um, but my mom begged me to stay because she can't like manage a whole entire store by herself, plus be a single mother.
Mm.
So
Kind of like
I
a family responsibility thing.
yeah, I gave in to the guilt trip and just decided. So, well, our compromise is that I'm gonna be here for another year and a half until my little brother turns into high school, and
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna sell a stop, sell the store, move to a different state, and work under somebody, while I go finally like go back to school.
Ah, okay. So there's like
Yeah,
a plan kind of going. I feel
I
like
wouldn't have been able to move out with a good conscience. I would feel like shit if I moved
Oh,
out now.
Yeah.
Guilt
I
trip's
feel like that's
exhausting.
like it pains me like because I feel like I don't mean like assume this about your parent, but I feel like some parents like purposely know that that guilt trip's gonna make you stay, instead of like
Oh
you like
yeah,
kind of
no,
deciding
yeah.
for yourself, right?
Parents are the best emotional manipulators.
That's actually
yeah.
true. That's actually true. Like they've experienced enough,
Oh,
and like they even do it when the kids are young, right? What time?
I'm
How did you like? How did you move out from like where you when you used to live home?
well, like I said, like my parents kind of just helped me through college, thankfully. I did not do very well, and it was almost like I basically had to move back home. Like my first year, I just played Halo and watched anime,
Yeah.
and freaking, uh, in
Yeah.
university in my first year, and then so I moved back home, but I got a what's it called? Like a community college degree, like a associate's. And then I moved out because I had bought a big screen TV and like it was in my little tiny room. I'm like, I
Mm.
gotta get out of here. I'm getting crazy, like doing chores and stuff for my
Yeah.
parents, and I just wanted to get out. Plus, I had a girlfriend at the time. Like, I wanted to get out and be on my
Yeah.
own.
I've
So
had partners, or
yeah.
when you have like a romantic partner, that's always like the super push to like move out and like get your own place like that. Like
Mhm.
I feel like if
Yeah.
I didn't like have a partner like at the time, I probably wouldn't have ended up moving out. Like because I moved out when I was
Yeah.
18. I got the fuck out of my
Mhm.
house. Not for like any other reason besides that I wanted to be on my own. There's definitely like a sense of like yes, like pride when you like move out of your house. Like yeah, the bills rank like rise up big time, but like
Yeah.
for me it was like a big mental like I guess like dopamine
Release.
hit. Like yeah, it was like oh my god, like this feels awesome to just like get out of this situation because it's not like I
Yeah.
wasn't be able to do anything. Like it's not like I was doing anything different that I would have when I was living at home. Like I still did the same exact things I did, living by myself. But like getting out of like the environment of like that you started in, it's
Mhm.
like a sense of moving forward, I guess. But in all like logical sense, like I feel like me staying home would have been way better because I wasn't paying nearly as much as I was when I was like moved out. But it's like you kind of
Mhm.
trade it out, right? Trade some money for some
Mhm.
sort of mental static gratification, right?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
paying for freedom and the ability of
Yeah.
choice
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
privacy.
And privacy.
Mhm.
That was like a big thing too.
Privacy is
Mhm.
huge. Like I can't like be like active and like comedic and like you screamy like most streamers are. Like
Right.
the best screamers are always like screams,
Crowa,
overreactions, and this like
shut the fuck up!
Yeah,
exactly,
the louder you are,
always.
I
I
Yeah.
swear.
can't be loud. So
Oh,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
in a way, I kind of like made it to my advantage where like at night when I would stream, I'll keep my voice down, and it like kind of like supplements the ASMR type of quality that my voice
Uh-huh.
has.
Well,
So
you
people like are
adjust your
into that.
content based on the environment that you have, right? That you're
Mhm.
able to. Because I
Yeah.
can't dance. I have a roommate. I can't dance after like 2 in the morning. But I don't so I don't stream like nearly as late as I used to. I stream like way earlier now. But I used to stream at like 10 o'clock. I would start streaming at 10. But I would only be able to dance between 10 and midnight because my roommate works 6 in the morning. So I don't want to like disturb him or anything. So I'd stop dancing at like midnight. But yeah, you adjust your environment and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, advice, adapt, and overcome.
Mm.
I'm gonna make a meme about that eventually.
Mhm.
So, does your does your roommate live like underneath you, or
No,
how do you
he's
dance
literally
like loud
He's literally
to
right
like
next
for
to
him to
me.
hear you?
Like, well, not like right next to me, but he's like,
y'all are
I'm
so
pointing at
loud.
sweet. I'm pointing at sweet, but there's, yeah, he's like, you can probably like barely hear like his freaking Elden Ring in the background, but his room is like right near mine. But I put up like sound panels, acoustic panels to like hopefully sponge
Mhm.
some of the noise that like become between me and high rooms. But here's the thing, he plays VRChat, so he knows.
Mhm.
Like I think I wouldn't be able to room with anybody if they didn't play VRChat. Like you have to. It's like an understanding. I think Sweet goes. It's
I
like some sort of
understand,
like
yeah.
culture of
He
understanding
knows
that
what
when someone plays.
goes on.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He knows what goes on.
3
Yeah.
in the morning, you're like freaking yelling for no reason.
Yeah, if you're like
Oh,
yelling. It's like if you had a roommate that played VRChat and you didn't know what it was, and all the noises you'd hear from the room, you'd probably be like, "What
Oh
the
gosh.
fuck is going
Yeah.
on? Like, who are they
Yeah.
talking to?"
yeah, it's
And they
great.
know like what hours to like not be in the room for
Oh my
privacy.
god,
Oh gosh.
Croa!
Wait, for what?
Cause those people.
Back to the freaking ERP
wrong?
world again. Yeah, you hit the banana now. But I
Uh-huh.
think
Oh,
like
hell
Oh,
I
man.
think like as far as like living and like moving as a content creator, I feel like it's I would want to live with other content creators. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it'd be really cool to have like a house that like just everyone
streamer
who in
house?
the house, yeah, like a streamer house. That would be like really cool. I think Ron, Sweet, and I always talk about how one day we're all gonna live in Texas and Sweet's gonna pay for everything for us.
That'd be crazy.
I'm honestly I'm honestly like kind of skeptical about that idea because like already like the concept like when people you don't know somebody until they move in, right? and then
True.
the
That's
swab,
true. That is true.
or like how, yeah.
Yeah, Ron could
Now
like freaking
imagine
like
that.
not wipe his butt and leave poop trails on the seat. That would kind of suck.
You never know until you know them.
Yeah.
Combine
Yeah,
that with like
definitely.
how often streamer drama happens
Yeah, I think the
all the
biggest
time.
thing if you're going to live with other people who do the same thing as you, like you have to understand that there will be a point where you get mad at one of them or you get upset at something or they get upset at something that you do and how you handle that is what is going to make or break like the situation. I've been in a lot of houses where like like there was an issue and it never got resolved and it builds and builds and builds and as long as you know how to like communicate with the people that you're around and respect what they got going on and they respect what you
Right.
got going on, then
Relationships in
Yeah,
a nutshell. Like,
so
yeah,
important.
you always talk. Sweet
Communication,
always talks about
yeah.
the underlying like growth of like disdain and like
mhm,
resentment
Resentment.
yeah,
towards the person if unless you have some sort of hey acknowledgement of a
yeah,
problem that they have.
yeah,
It's funny.
mhm,
I've been with my roommate for 4 years now. We've never gotten into an argument ever.
yeah,
We've never gotten an argument in four
Wow.
years. It's crazy. There are definitely things that like he's probably done that I've like been annoyed about, or I've done he's been
yeah, yeah,
that like he's been annoyed about. But it's never been like a problem where it's like we've let it gone on for so
uh-huh.
long to where it's like
An issue,
an issue exactly an issue.
yeah,
Um, and I think that when it comes to like a streamer house, like I could see the one major thing would be is somebody else like streaming the same time and both you guys being loud at the same time and it
oh,
like stepping on each
yeah,
other. I could see that
yeah,
happening. That's definitely
yeah,
something. Or like
You can like
uh,
arrange your schedules where like one person will stream after another, and it's like can do like a little raid train.
I could see
Maybe
that.
compromise.
I could see
yeah,
that. I think a lot of the complication would definitely fall in the lines of like um you know uh when the person is live and like other like distractions, I guess, if that makes sense when they're streaming. Um,
yeah.
I don't know how it would play out. Like I guess like me, Sweet and Ron all like dancing. Could you imagine all of us dancing at the same time and like you just hear like dee, dee, like someone like our neighbors would be like, what the hell is going on? Like three sets of like people just like dancing like crazy.
Oh God,
Silent rave.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's one thing I live in an apartment building, so I have upstairs neighbors too. So like I wonder like if
mhm,
they have heard me like at like 11 o'clock on a Tuesday or something.
mhm. Yeah, just as
Yeah,
long as you know who you're inviting in. Like
Right.
you might not know them completely, but like if you have a general idea, like you two and Ron, I could based on like the limited information I know, I feel like you all would be okay, but like say like you expand that and it's more and more like different people that maybe you don't know that well or
Right.
like you don't know what people like some people are a little bit different or completely different when they take off their headset. And you just have to, know who you have around and know what it's like when they're possibly not happy or
Hmm.
know when to recognize when they're upset and, hopefully vice versa. Have some empathy for everybody in the situation because it's hard. Like it's hard living with other people. You have to
Yeah, you
cooperate,
can't like look at
keep the
somebody
house
expecting to be like a
clean and
perfect model roommate. Like there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
way you can like that. I think anyone who's had a
Yeah.
roommate like has to acknowledge it too, right? It's
Yeah.
like that's why I think and this is my opinion. That's why I think freaking roommate contracts are the most bullshit things ever. Because it's like you being like, I want you to be this perfect roommate. Here are my rules. You have to follow every one of my rules, kind of thing. And I just feel like it's such like I can't
Yeah.
stand those. Like every time I've had a roommate, it's been incredibly like lax. I feel like the less
Mhm.
pressure you put on like the mistakes
Yeah.
of like being
The
roommates, the
easier.
easier it is, right? Like my first,
Mhm.
so when I moved out initially, I moved into an apartment with like three other people. Um,
Mhm.
two of them were engaged and the other one was a friend of theirs and they're looking for a fourth roommate. I didn't sign any contract. I literally showed up with $550 cash and they were just like, you want to move in? I'm like, yeah. And that was
Yeah.
it. I moved my shit upstairs and I stayed there for 2 years. And that was like, the most casual thing ever. There was no contract. There was
Mhm.
nothing. I told them like it was all etiquette, if that makes sense. Like I told them 6 months
Yeah.
in advance when I was planning on leaving. I was like, I'm gonna probably move out
Yeah.
around here. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know. For me, it's like if you approaching it that way, it just feels like a lot less pressure on these formalities of like being like a,
Yeah.
a model roommate. So that way, when
Yeah.
one day when the cup isn't in the sink and it's not done, there's no like
Mhm.
insane argument breaking out. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. definitely.
I like to believe that when it comes to
House,
streamers, is that they have that lax kind of attitude.
yeah. So in a streamer house, how would you like split the electricity bill? So obviously one person's gonna use more than the other person.
Yeah.
Well, I already said Sweet's paying for everything, right, baby?
Fine.
God.
No, 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 no,
Right.
no, no.
Sweet's paying for everything.
That'd
We already
so
no. It's a vote. It's a vote. Two
Yeah.
2-1. Ron and I voted that you're paying for everything. You lost the vote.
I mean, I'm gonna afford a 4-bedroom house now. If you guys want to move in.
Yeah, we're doing.
Uh, I was thinking like we should have a state like for VR centric people. I don't know, maybe we'll all decide on like
A
a little
hub.
state or community. A hub. A
Texas!
hub, right?
The
Like,
room.
Well, Texas is like the central.
Texas.
This
There's gonna be
why
no
is
point
okay?
of
Wait,
grass.
why is
Yeah.
why is Texas and Austin and Houston like the centralized location for all online networking and industry when it comes to, like gaming
Heard it comes
industry?
down to taxes, but
Taxes?
I don't know
I thought it
what
was
it is.
servers. Is it? I thought it was because of servers. I thought.
I
I don't know the
I-
exact
I
reason.
think
There's
it was
definitely a
from,
reason, right?
I live in Texas and I
Um,
have shit internet, and I live in a big city and I have to fight my internet daily. So
I
don't know
have
if it
no
counts.
idea why though.
Really?
So like,
Yeah.
because I can't be the only one that's heard Texas when it comes to industry, like gaming industry, right?
Well, I know a lot of people that are from Texas, and like even in like VR, like
It's
a
like
lot of
headquarters,
people-
though.
I don't know, yeah.
But like
it's
big
just-
gaming headquarters, this old network called Rooster Teeth. They were based in Austin, and
Yeah.
Complexity is based in Austin, and I think the Apex Legends servers are based in Austin. Like it's
Yeah.
like everything is in freaking Austin, and I never really knew
Yeah.
why. I never ever
Yeah,
understood.
you're right. People are moving from like Cali to
Is it really because of
Texas
taxes?
property like is so low compared to living in
well,
California.
it
Yes,
used to be.
absolutely.
Now
Anything
it's
else?
creeping
I think
up.
Texas,
because so
It's
much
creeping
people are
up,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, it's about to be the
People-
like in like 5 or 10 years, it'll be the same as Cali. But
Oh my
right
god!
now,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
Guess we gotta move to a state in the middle of nowhere. Where are my
Yeah.
people that live in
Eh,
Montana?
middle of nowhere,
Let's go to
but good
Montana.
internet.
Let's
That's all.
go.
That's
Alaska.
all.
Let's all right.
Well,
Can we pick
good
Montana? That'll be the
internet,
state.
yes.
That'll be the state for
Oh,
all VRChat players.
Montana?
Montana.
Oh,
We're going to Montana, everybody.
What's in Montana? Like
I don't know exactly.
Literally nothing.
Us. We're gonna be in
VR.
Montana.
Oh,
VRChat.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
VRChat's gonna be in
right.
Montana.
I think
Yeah.
Texas has its own laws when it comes to like electricity too, because of like some history with like the Alamo or whatever.
That could be. I mean, I like I said, there's a reason why all the online internet people flock to Austin. There's a reason why. That could be it. That sounds. I mean, I believe that.
Yeah, cheap electricity bills. 'Cause if you have
Cheap
your
electricity
computers on,
bills.
like a million computers on all day, yeah, it's probably save a buck or two.
Yeah, I think like Linus Tech Tips is in Texas as well. I think like anyone who does like any kind of online thing, it's really weird.
a vast majority, yeah.
Trying
I
to get
wouldn't mind being in like a more secluded, isolated area, but like it's so hard to have good internet out there. Like you mentioned Alaska, and Alaska, good internet is like five
At least you're not Australian.
upload and like 100 download. Like that's amazing internet up there. Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Anyone in Australia, like because like it's so expensive for like companies to have servers in Australia, like
Mhm.
I feel like they always get the no matter what game they play, they're like no matter what on like 250 ping. No matter what game they're playing, they have the most ping out of anybody, and it's always like so sad. It's like because I have friends who
Yeah.
live in Australia who are like don't get to play any games on like regular ping or ever get to experience that. It's crazy. Location's like so essential when it comes to like any kind of like online existence.
Yeah.
If they play Apex in Australia and then you move over to Texas, they're gonna be super gods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, I bet you they'd actually suck because it'd be such a big change. Like adapting to it, they're probably so used to like a massive delay to the game. It's like they're shooting like way late because like wait, there's a delay. It's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
See where they're gonna be, not where they're at. Oh no, they're not there.
One day there'll be a centralized system where every kind of connection is just like instantaneous. One day,
Yeah.
right?
Well, internet is
I
slowly
wish.
becoming a human right. Like
Mm.
a consistent internet speed. At least here in Texas, I had to
It should
undig
be.
the
It should
the
be. I believe
law.
it should. It should be
Yeah, well,
widely available.
because of
you
how
know.
bad my internet was, I had to open a FCC complaint with them because they were throttling my internet on purpose, and I caught them.
Yeah, haven't you been
um,
having like internet issues recently too? Like I
all of
swear I've been.
February. I got it
Yeah,
fixed,
I remember you. I
but
remember
I
seeing
had to
like
open a
Mhm.
court case, like an
You have to be a
FCC
Karen.
case. Yeah,
to get them to fix it.
yeah. I have a whole.
Is it
like, let me
resolved now?
speak to
Are
the
you like all
manager.
like set with that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I'm all-
crazy.
It's all good. they have a monopoly in my area. The internet company.
Yeah,
that
I was
have-
about to say, there's so much money in bandwidth. There's so much
Yep.
money in that industry. That's kind
Yeah.
of how cable was. When cable was a massive part, channels were intentionally withheld to create these package deals to give
Yeah.
you access to particular things. And I think I remember maybe was it like 10 years ago where they were talking about internet websites ISPs preventing access to particular networks and providers on URLs without having. So let's say you had to pay for the level 1 package, but the level 1 package excluded, YouTube and excluded
Yeah.
Hulu and stuff like that because this company has a business deal with Netflix. So if you want to have access to Hulu, you have to pay a premium in order to access it. I can't remember when that happened, but that was like 10 years ago, I think it was, where they had like a huge where everyone was really scared about that happening to the
Yeah.
internet.
I remember that vaguely.
Yeah,
but
it was actually I can't it had a specific name. I can't actually remember the name of the act, but basically it was going to turn the internet into a cable system where people were going to be blocked by these paywalls in order to access particular
websites.
websites. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything ever happened with it. But it was like an actual situation. But could you imagine having to pay like a specific premium to your ISP in order to access particular things on the website, like on the internet? Like, and they could keep you from
easily
it.
That could happen.
Mhm.
Like if they want.
ISPs have
I
control
know
over like everything. They have so much control.
There's laws to prevent it, but like
Mhm.
if there weren't, like how much control, like because a lot of people's jobs now rely on internet and
Yeah.
like rely on
I mean,
connecting
you work like
to online.
60% at home, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could do everything
Um.
remote. I have 2 lines just in
Mhm.
case one goes down because I'm
Yeah.
like, nah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jay just said
Oh,
net
wow.
neutrality. That's what it was called. It was called
Yeah.
net neutrality. That was the
Oh,
name of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Internet neutrality. I remember that. That's what it was called.
That wasn't even 10
Thank you,
years
Jay.
ago. That was a few years. Was it 10 years ago?
I don't know. I remember it just being a while back when I was in high school. I remember it was
Yeah.
I
being
remember.
discussed widely back
I
when I was in
remember
high
it
school.
talked about in like 2017 or something. Got brought up again, but yeah, I remember everyone was freaking out because they were like,
What?
We're not gonna get to
You
watch
just-
YouTube anymore."
You just reminded me of something. Did you guys see the Senate passed a bill on getting rid of daylight savings times being permanent? Did you guys see that?
Oh my god.
They
I
want
think
to.
I only heard
I would
that
prefer
from
that,
you.
yeah.
I don't
The
know,
Senate
but
just
I feel
passed
like
a
it would be
bill on
helpful.
daylight savings, so that could potentially be happening. We could
Yeah.
never have to set our clocks
Well,
back.
Don't a lot of
We never have to
countries
lose an
not
hour.
do that anyways? Like they stopped that like daylight savings a long time ago. Like
It's crazy. Like,
over in Europe, like a lot of countries over there like don't
yeah,
do
no,
it.
they don't do it anymore. They don't.
Yeah.
But
It was for farming purposes to follow the sun
Right,
and
right,
the sun
right.
patterns. And it's
That's
like,
what I
okay,
told
is there
Sweet.
much farmers here anymore?
so
Not
dumb.
really.
because there's so much
Yeah.
freaking processed, manufactured, genetically engineered
Yeah.
edible foods that are similar to wheat. We no longer need the
Mhm.
sun. That's
Yeah.
basically what's going. I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen, but
I don't
could you
know. I'm
imagine?
worried about that.
Wouldn't that be really
will.
weird? Like that. Why are you worried about that?
I was
Remember you
saying,
telling me
well,
about it.
because
You
a
told me about it
software
before.
engineer, there are
Mhm.
like, I would say probably millions of dollars spent on daylight savings problems.
Yeah.
Just like say you're a company and you work with different states and different parts of the
And now you
country.
have
Well,
to-
you're making software that shifts. You're making libraries and softwares that shift time just to be able to talk and communicate with each other. Because what time are you going to use, right? Like
Yeah.
some people want to see the time in their
EDT.
time.
That's what Moon and I mentioned Moon. I was like, it's ES. We're meeting up
Mhm.
at EST,
Yeah.
and then she's like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock CST, and I was like, wait, I mean EDT, because
Yeah.
they're EST and I use
Exactly.
EST no matter what, like no matter what
Yeah.
freaking time of
Well,
year it
like,
is. Yeah.
all that software, something's gonna break.
There's
I
so
mean,
much money
there's
like put in, like all the labor hours to fix all of the whatever coding or whatever kind of libraries that are based around alternating
yes.
schedules, because
Oh,
coding
yeah.
libraries are basically databases that are shared amongst code
Mhm.
coders and all different kinds of programmers, and these libraries have within them so much code in them, so much, and functions in them that are also tied to even more code that probably
Mhm.
have all different kinds of formulas. If you have done any kind of computer science classes, you might know what I'm talking about. But they'll have functions inside of those libraries that you know, have
Yeah.
daylight savings accounted for them.
Or,
So
like,
when if this happens, right, how much labor
if
it
your app
costs
or VRC or a game
for
depends on a
VRC, like
little
think
tiny
about your
library that's
computer.
part of
Hmm
their software, it's just gonna
Yeah, it's probably some
break.
sort of
So
Boolean that's
it's
like,
not so
right,
easy.
and then it's gotta, and it's also gonna affect everything that's above it.
Has-
The way the way library
Yeah.
works, everything that's accessing that library has to then account for that change as well. So it's like what was it called, Y2K, right? It's like Y2K.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like freaking
yeah.
Y2K,
Everyone's freaking
where
out. Yeah.
there's no longer a binary number. It's like, oh my god. So it changes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
know.
think if that happens, new pinnacle of life. We lost a freaking hour, forever. It's gone forever.
There's a lot more to it than I thought. I really thought about
It
that.
is. If you no, yeah, if
Which
you
time would we stay on? If it's taken away?
it'd be we'd stay on the one we're on now. The one we're at now is the one we'd say.
Okay.
Yeah. So because right now it's Eastern Daytime. So this is
Yeah.
next or sorry, I lied. Right now it's EST, right? Or EDT. EDT is
Going forward, so
I believe so. Yeah, no. So I think right now we're Eastern Standard because this is the regular hours. The savings is when we bring an hour back. That's when we're saving the hour. So right now we're on EST. EDT is when it's the winter time.
Okay.
But so we'd stay on the one we're at now. But it regardless, it's just crazy to think about that potentially happening because like everyone's like, oh man, there's no more spring forward, fall backwards. Like the whole thing is completely gone. Like even for like me, it's like it's already like thinking about that potentially happening. Like as far as like Sweet's job goes, I can't imagine.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've written code that's like, if we're in Eastern Standard, shift every hour by 1, like add +1 to every hour, and then you have like, I work for an electric company, trading company, and so you have like megawatt hours, connected to hour 1 or hour 2. Well, if those shift, now people are seeing like completely wrong data, and
Yeah.
that really like affects finances down the line. People are getting billed wrong, like.
Oh my god, like
It's
payments
just-
and stuff like that. All those things.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff would
Oh
change.
yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, you get that's daylight saving. Everything counts when you're doing software. So
Mhm.
even
Yeah, no,
stuff
in
like
the
time
programming world,
changing,
like really small things
you
affect.
want stuff to be
You could bring
very,
down an
like-
entire network with just one little line out of place,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a lot of
yeah.
coding involves that.
It's fun though.
Yeah, that's the fun of it. Like you problem solving and debugging something or compiling something. Oh my god,
Well, if
see
you
that's
do cool stuff-
that's the opposite of fun for me is finding one little
Oh,
tiny problem
no.
that ruins everything.
One little semicolon in that place.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you had an incident like that like some few weeks back where someone forgot a semicolon, right? So you.
Oh my
Semi-
God.
But here's the thing: coding. There's a lot of programs will show you where semicolons are missing nowadays. But because
Yeah, if you
hey,
guys
Oh,
want to get
thank
into
God.
anything without having to have like what is it called? Like a certification, like a doctor or something, or like some
Programming.
kind of engineer, you can just take like a programming class or like
it
online,
changes how
and
you
then
think
do,
about
like,
things. Programming is a
projects.
really great thing to learn. It is just even just
Yeah.
like even just intro level. It just changes like even just like like me picking up this mug here. Somewhere in Unity, it's asking, am I gripping my controller? And if I am gripping my controller, lift the cup up. So like that's a process that's really cool to just like understand
Awesome.
Yeah.
of how
Well,
like
the
everything we
VRChat,
do.
the OSC stuff, right now, like I was
Oh,
about to get it. It's like Twitch to OSC integration to where like someone could type in your chat like, change color of shirt or something, exclamation, and then
Right.
it like happens in real
Some
time.
people
Sounds
on
chaotic.
Twitter
It's kind of
working on
scary.
that.
I could see you doing a lot with that. I don't know why. Like I could see like
I knew
could you
how
imagine
to.
like your avatar like just totally changing? Like I'd see because you're like doing stuff like that, right? Like where it's like a lot of like influence chat things. Like
One of the ideas I did have was like, how I'm super into like ravey scenes, and, like
Right.
lights and sounds and all that. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
like do like exclamation mark explosion like in the background.
Yeah.
like,
you should
with,
get
like,
into that.
light
You should learn a
sound.
little bit about that. I think I could
Fine.
totally see you doing that. I think that would be
Time is
really
the thing,
really fun
though.
for you. Time,
have
yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
time.
Time. Make
Yeah.
time, Croa. The people demand content. Make
Just
time.
invent like the 25th hour. Easy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, that bill passes.
Well,
We're
it's
gonna
funny
keep
how
this hour
these
forever.
yeah, you'll see these like booths or gumroads where like developers are now making stuff like the speech to text thing above you, or
Yeah.
maybe something
Right.
to put explosions in the
So
background.
much cool stuff
So
happening.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
I
I was
wish I knew
seeing
how to
someone on
OOC.
I saw someone on Twitter setting it up so that the channel point redeems in chat can
Uh-huh.
change their outfit on stream. So like if they
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
they
cool.
instead of pants they'd have like they could get redeemed for like a skirt or
that's
um
cool.
like the like VTubers like the virtual like
Oh
the
yeah, they have
not
the
us
models
but
with
like
the
Yeah,
the other one
right.
where
yeah.
they have like
2D.
stuff thrown at them
Oh
2D.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I've
I've
saw
seen
seen
that.
that.
people get that set up too. So like if you're in a world is talking, all of a sudden like a big hamburger will come down and like hit your
That
avatar
sounds
in
fun but
VR chat.
dangerous.
I could. That's what I'm
Yeah.
It's
saying, Croa. I
dangerous.
could totally imagine you doing it. I don't know. It'd be so funny. Like I don't know. Like you doing that, I would die
I
watching that.
would
That's a good
I
one for
would
you, I
say like a
think.
bullet like flying at me. That way I can matrix dodge everything every
Yeah,
time
just
like
I
someone
don't know.
moves
You
it.
just
Something
like
really cool.
start stream and then just have like chat just control everything from then for the whole stream. And you're just reacting to stuff.
Yeah.
It's like at what point is that like botting or something? Well, not botting, but
Mhm.
you're just kind of
I don't
chilling
know.
there, you know?
Probably like a bits too. Like instead like
Yeah,
it'd be
bits.
an additional like
Oh,
level of like scaring you. It's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
actually like have like
oh
actual image like in your
no,
Oh
face.
gosh. Yeah.
no, fudge.
All right.
Give them a goose.
Unfortunately, we're reaching that time. We'll start wrapping up the show.
Yay.
Croa and Moon, it's been really good having you guys on here. For
Yeah.
you guys in
Mhm.
chat, if you guys want to, you can go ahead and ask any question to anyone on the show right now. That's Croa, Moon, myself. It's sweet. Just put your name or put their name down, and then you can put a little colon or dash, and then put the question in, and we'll go ahead and ask them. You can ask them anything about whatever. But we'll do a little bit of AMA, and then we'll wrap it up. Moon Crow, what's it like being on the show? You ever do like a podcast before?
No,
Oh,
I haven't actually. First time.
Hmm.
I've always like wondered what it'd be like to be on like Rebels like interview kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
I
be like
actually
big
had
famous.
a interview. My first interview was yesterday with O-Girls, and then now this is
mhm.
my like second
Mhm.
interview slash podcast type of thing. But these are really fun. I enjoy them. I appreciate you both inviting us on. It was really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
The
I made
question
really
for you,
happy when I
Moon.
got the invite.
It's what is so this is from Joker, and they say, "What is up with you and your legs?"
Oh my goodness. Um.
I'm assuming it's an inside joke.
Yeah, I think he's from your
Yeah.
community, huh?
Yeah. He is. Nothing. My legs are completely fine now. Is my tracking is normally horrible.
Mm.
And in my streams, I'll just be like trying to make something pretty, and all of a sudden, like my avatar will like fling across the room, or like
Hey,
my
Crow has
leg
that
will like
problem too.
come up and yeah, it'll like hit me in the
Content out of it, and I
face.
swear to
Yeah,
Oh
murder.
gosh.
It's
yeah.
great. Everybody loves it.
Uh,
So another
yeah, that's
question. This is for Croa and Moon. Will there ever be? It's from Joker again for Croa and Moon. Will there ever be a Croa and Moon movie collaboration?
No plans yet, but there's potential for that, I believe.
yeah. I would definitely be interested. Like, yeah, no plans, but I could act, but I'm definitely more like I would love to be behind the camera and like filming.
I
So
do need more camera people actually.
yeah.
Mm.
I actually so I'm getting a new world commission, and I actually want to like do like how there's the home makeover kind of shows.
Right.
I kind of want to do something like that, and I do actually
Mhm.
need
Oh,
camera people for that.
I could see that. That'd be kind of cool.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
definitely.
All right, it's from MP. This is for Croa. For your upcoming works, would the best place to keep track of them be either Discord, or will you be setting up special sites for each one of them to be released as your project near completion?
I actually do have a section in my Discord server, but it's like subs only to like because I have like a place to call like idea dump, and that's where I put all of like my stuff. And I actually do when I'm working on my projects, I stream in there.
Mm.
So I'm not sure if that counts as self promotion, but
No, it's fine.
basically be sub to me and be in my Discord, and you get to see all behind the scenes.
Cool. Awesome. Hopefully that answers your question, MP. All right. If there's no more questions in chat. Oh, this is another one. This is from Joker again. For Crow. did you always want to? Did you always want a white wolf boy, or did you have other avatar ideas too? It's from MP.
So I was like one of the bigger weebs when growing up, where I like always like the white hair characters, like Hitsy Guy from Bleach, etc. And so I always wanted white hair in real life, but my hair is like so thick that like it's impossible to dye it that way without bleaching myself like 20 times.
Mm.
So white was always the thing I wanted, white hair. And wolves is actually like one of my favorite animals. But I
Right.
didn't want to be like a wolf boy until so like
Did you come here as an anime girl?
no, I've never
Did you
done the
start
anime
as
girl
an anime
stuff.
girl, or
I
is
have
this
like
a
such like
gradual over time?
dysphoria in like girl avatars.
Yeah.
I had to be male or I wouldn't feel like me. But actually, my VR sister has the girl version of me, Lapland from Arknights. And then one day I just asked her like, "Hey, so is like a guy version? Because I know like and VRChat
Uh,
is always guy versions.
yeah.
There was a guy version, and that's the avatar that I adopted in wearing into Derailed, and
Hmm.
I just sort of just kept going with it ever since. Because
I
somebody
can't
told me
see
that
you
like,
in an
my
anime
voice
girl.
fits my avatar like perfectly,
Mm,
and I just didn't want to like lose that.
right. No, I agree. I agree. I can't. I change avatars every freaking week, so like odds are I'm gonna have this avatar for like next like week and a half, and then I'm gonna beg Sweet to make me a new one.
Yeah, I immediately get this Corey.
There we go again. Again.
Sweet just finished this
Toggles.
today. I don't know. It's really good.
Did it
Everything.
work? Does
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Everything works. Everything works really good, baby. Like, oh, ha! Yeah, I forgot to show this
Oh.
off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh my
Burrito
god.
made
like
this for
a
me.
secret staple now, huh?
Yeah, Burrito made this for me.
Huh?
So now me, Choto, and Ron all have one. But yeah, I have one now. What's
Oh.
up, boys?
Cool.
That's super cute.
Boy.
Yeah, Burrito.
Do the next
Bur-
podcast like this? It'd be so cute.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I
That's
mean,
what
I might, this could end up being the new me for the podcast. Although the only problem is I have to hold my hand, like
Like that.
up in the air, like,
this,
yeah. Let me grab this mug.
Aw.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right, cool. But yeah, it's really cool. Burrito did an awesome job on it. It's
Hey,
super super good. But yeah, this is from Joker for Crow and Moon. Hold on. Oh my gosh. For Crow and Moon, will you two get chibi avatars for your main avatar as well?
For me, I got like a lolly version. Not as, I don't think that really counts as chibi. And I'm getting a kid model of myself eventually.
I've
Not
seen
chibi,
the
but
younger
yeah.
version of your avatar on stream before. I think it was like a 2D. It was like a PNG. I think
Yeah,
PNG.
PNG.
PNG. Yeah.
Yeah,
About
so
you, Moon?
PNG Tuber's Kid Croa, 3D model is teen, and I'm getting 2D as adult Croa.
Old Man Crow. Where's Old Man Crowa? I want white beard, no hair, to be bald. We need
The
that.
wizard.
Yeah, yeah,
The wolf wizard.
yeah. Old Man Crowa. That's the lore
I
I
do
want.
have some concept art of that, because like
Ooh.
somewhere down the line, I was like, I'm gonna do like a one-time art commission of Old Man Croa, and then
Yeah.
that'll
I
be
can see it. We need Old
I don't
Man.
ever want to actually
What
pilot
about
it, though.
Fetus Crowa?
Oh,
We need
God.
Fetus Crowa.
Oh my god, every crow, the crow
Facial
multiverse.
features.
Oh my god. What about you, Moon?
Multiverse.
What you have any
For
plans to
me
say like a chibi
personally,
version?
no. I think with like just the type of person I am, I don't feel comfortable like nothing wrong with it, but for me personally, I don't feel comfortable being in a child avatar.
Oh yeah.
Um,
No, I get that. I
So
understand that.
I think that it's cute. Like I would love to see like a child version of my character, but sorry
Mhm.
if you hear anything. But me personally having one, no, I would
Mm.
not. I don't think so.
Yeah, I get that. I think it goes hand in hand with like gender preference as well, like being in like what
Yeah.
kind of. It's all just like kind of what you feel comfortable in the end of the day, right?
Oreo's
Yeah.
a real thing in VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to sometimes it's weird. Like usually I just like I get in the mood to like use like a smaller avatar or like a lolly avatar. But it comes in like long periods of time. Where like over like the next like 5 months I'll be like in like a teen avatar, but then like for the next like 2 months I want to be in a small like lolly avatar. I don't know. I think it's just like it goes back to me like just wanting different variety in everything that I do. Like I like no matter what I do, I like lots of different things. So I think like just switching like the whole like aesthetic of like being a kid like feels a little bit different too. So I can see that.
It's a good thing. That it keeps your content fresh.
Yeah,
When
it
people
keeps
do
it
something
keeps
over
everything
and over
fresh.
again for years, it's like people lose interest.
For sure. All right, we'll give one more call for questions, and then we'll wrap it up here. I want to take a moment to thank Croa and Moon for being on the show. It was awesome having you guys on here. Hopefully, you guys
for having us.
have a wonderful rest of your day and a great a great weekend or a great week. Crow and Moon, everybody, you guys can check out their socials if anyone's in chat. I can link them for me. That mean a lot to me. Sweetie, as always, being here. Thank you so much for being on the show. Are we gonna give the banana a name? I don't know. The banana seems to be a pretty common thing on the show. That's for sure. I don't know. I threw it. I threw it off the table I threw it off the table last time that we had it.
You have to pass it to anyone who mentions ERP or something.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the shame banana. It's the shame
you just
banana.
mentioned it,
Whoever
so-
mentions ERP first. Whoever mentions ERP and brings it up as a topic. that'll be the new thing. You
and
you have to
gotta
hold the
put it
magic
in the
cock
coffee
banana.
No, it doesn't
It's-
go. It's colliding.
It's the cock banana.
Maybe
My name has 2 underscores.
This is for there's
Oh, it
2
does.
underscores and it's
Yeah.
Moon _ VR
Oh.
underscore.
Yeah.
So
make
this
it
is
super
from
difficult.
Joker for Kuro Moon. Could it be possible for a music video collab to happen? Kuro dancing Moon on camera. I am definitely not someone who would do a music video like of me. I would do a music video of sceneries.
What about like,
Not
acting?
me.
Would you ever want to like act?
No. I'm definitely one of the people that likes like back of the house stuff. I love back of the house. I used to work
Yeah,
dispatch
same.
like in
Yeah.
an office, so like I like doing underground things. Like this is more fun to me. I don't know. But yeah, no, never. So nothing against Moon, but it's against
No,
me.
no.
I am not
No,
someone who
okay.
could be on a
I
camera
think
doing
it's
dancing
better,
like that.
to know that about yourself than to.
I can see
be
Sweet doing it. How about Sweet? How about Sweet
Yeah.
would do it? Yeah, Sweet could do
I
it.
like to
Yeah,
act
yeah,
and
yeah. You do
dance.
your Cora. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a cat. I like to act and dance.
Attention.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here and checking out the show. This is the next podcast number 3. We'll see you guys next week. Bye bye, everybody. Thanks for being here. Bye bye.
Bye. Dish.
All right, and